Go.
The whole booking show.
Welcome. We're gonna run that back. I fucked up. That's all me.
I was like,
I'm trying to turn down my. All right, go again.
You look good.
I'll do that in 1 minute. The whole booking show.
Welcome to Book It, a wrestling podcast where we book and revisit your favorite wrestling storylines. I'm your commissioner, Hi-Fi Mike, and today I have your GMs Damone, D Money Allen,
Who's ready to get toxic?
Primetime Travie T.
What a surprise seeing you here.
I don't like that.
I'm doing this in the wrong order. Bad Guy.
I was wondering what would break first, your booking or your body.
Little Fudge.
Huh?
And Late Night Keefy Keef.
Fuck
the
you,
Phantom
Cody.
Voter.
Which Cody?
fuck you, Cody.
Which one?
You know which
Cody
one.
Kayfabe?
Not Rhodes. Yep.
We're starting the deep out
Every
right
single
quick.
Cody.
Every Cody.
I've been on that fuck you, Cody train for a while now.
I don't know who said this, but
Hey,
It's
Happy birthday to
Cody
Mike.
thank you, Facebook user.
Cody Diener from Impact.
Facebook user said,
Cody
happy
Kayfabe.
birthday to me. It's my birthday. Everybody. My birthday. All right. I don't know how many birthday
Yay,
shows that
happy
we've had.
birthday.
A decent amount.
Happy
If it falls on a Monday
birthday.
or a Tuesday, it's gonna be a bucket. It's gonna be a birthday that we do a show on.
Damone's
Yeah.
giving this man a good
It's a
present.
Book It birthday.
Oh,
Disappointment.
it was JJF.
Yeah.
Thanks, JJF. Appreciate it.
Hey,
Thanks, JJF.
That's the guy that's always wrong in the fucking.
Don't get him started. Don't get him started.
Yeah.
I
about
was
to have a
I
longer
was
video
just
than
about to say,
ours.
speaking of Cody and bad opinions.
Shout out to you, Jimmy, you dickhead, you.
All right. So this week we are going to continue on with the Book It Verse 3, and it's Damone's show. I don't know. The only one I remember, I'll be honest, is BBW.
Of course, it's the GOAT.
That's the one you remember.
That's the one I remember.
Valentine's Day Massacre.
You rated my show
no.
the highest out of all of them. You probably don't remember it.
I don't remember any other abbreviations.
Because
So-
he was higher yours. That's the only
I'll
way
admit,
to enjoy
when
that.
When I'm tweeting out the post, John's my favorite one to hashtag BBW because I see all the hashtags that come up when you type in hashtag BBW. And it's very interesting.
Just don't do
Alright.
that at work.
All right, Bone, tell us about the show you got going on this week. If you haven't listened to any other Book It Verse, I urge you to go back. At least listen to the beginning of this series. You could even go back, listen to the beginning of the first one where we didn't know what the hell we were doing. Or you go all the way back.
I knew
Start
what
with
I was
episode
doing.
1.
I won.
And then let us know when you get caught up.
We knew then, we just forgot.
So we're going to go ahead and get started with Damone. Damone, tell us about what
It's
show?
not
you
Book It
had? Judgment Day.
Verse.
Judgment Day.
It's Judgment Day.
Judgment Day. I knew that.
Yeah. So Toxic Championship Wrestling presents Judgment Day live from Houston, Texas. The theme song for the event is "Walk with Me in Hell" by Lamb of God. So the theme of the center of the theme is like half of it's heaven, half of it's hell, with red and black on one, like the hell part, and white and gold on the heaven part.
You got that arena looking like Two-Face from Batman.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's an homage to Two-Face Sting.
Didn't even think of that. So Striker, Vampiro, and Matt Striker, Vampiro, and Don West welcome us all to the show. So we were going right into the first build. So Tessa Blanchard, as announced in her interview, entered the Queen of the Mountain match and gets an automatic bid by virtue of being the last Evolve Women's Champion. Bianca Belair and Mickie James are also given automatic bids as they came as well because they came from the now defunct CBW and NSW as champions respectively. Madison Rayne, she beats Daphne to earn the spot in the match. Kaylee Ray defeats Liv Morgan, and Casey Catanzaro wins the last chance battle royal to enter the match. After Casey wins by eliminating Ronda Rousey, David Arquette announces that on the Go Home show there will be a 6-woman tag match between the competitors. Tessa Blanchard, Madison Rayne, and Kaylee Ray on one team versus Mickie James, Casey Catanzaro, and Bianca Belair. So the 6-woman tag match devolves into an all-out brawl between the women. Tessa ends up setting up the ladder and goes to climb it to symbolize her plan for the match, but she gets caught by Bianca, who hits a KOD. Bianca gets kicked in the gut and hit with a gory bomb by Kaylee Ray, who is then hit by a chick kick by Mickie. Madison then grabs Mickie and hits a rain check. Casey comes flying out of nowhere and hits a flying crossbody, taking out Rayne. Casey is the only one left standing and climbs to the top of the ladder and sits atop of it, looking down at her competitors. So that was on the Go Home show. So to the actual match itself. So we're gonna start off by explaining the rules of King of the. I'm just gonna precursor it. There's a King and a Queen of the Mountain match on this card.
Is that King and a Queen?
There's a King and a Queen of the Mountain match on this card. So the rules are the same. So for the Queen of the Mountain rules, to be eligible, you have to grab the title. You have to pin or make someone submit first.
Yeah.
If you are pinned or submitted, you enter the penalty box for 5 minutes. The first person to grab the title and bring it down wins. Tessa is out.
How it goes.
So many rules.
That last part. So you said you changed the.
I'd be damned if I get put in a penalty
I
box in the middle of a fight.
Yeah, I did change one of the rules though for it. Instead of putting the title up, you bring it down. I don't like the idea of putting it up. You just bring it down. We're not gonna have any Samoa Joe incidents happening where people get handed titles.
I love the convoluted rules of this match. I don't know why. It just has a place in my heart. I was like,
hate the
fuck
rules.
Yeah.
Pretty much, you just need a pin or submission, and then you can grab the title. So Tessa is out first. She's wearing gold and black gear. Casey's out next, wearing red and black. Kaylee Ray comes out wearing like her galaxy color gear. Mickie James comes out in her black country gear, so it's like a country outfit. And
she come out the hardcore country.
Yep, she comes out the hardcore country as her theme
Tessa
song.
Coming out too?
I can't.
Morgan Wallen.
Probably, I don't fucking know. Madison Ray, it's just Joe Rogan talking.
Mark Wahlberg is
Hey, we don't do that here. My Joe Rogan is not racist over here. Don't do that.
Madison Rain comes. I forgot you had him. Madison Rain comes out in powder blue gear. Bianca is wearing purple with the red kisses. So Ricardo Rodriguez introduces each competitor as they raise the title over the ring. The bell rings and it turns into complete chaos as they pair up and they start throwing punches, throwing hands. So I'm just gonna go over the spots. I'm not doing bell to bell for this match. So Tessa hits a jumping cutter on Kaylee Ray. I can't talk.
You said, what did you say?
She did definitely not hit a jumping color.
Cut her. Bianca hits a glam slam on Madison Rain. Madison Rain counters a clothesline attempt by Casey into a Northern Light suplex. Mickie hits a Luthez press on Tessa, then throws punches, then gets up and hypes up the crowd. Mickie goes for a Mickie Kinrana on Bianca, but Bianca overpowers her and turns it into a power bomb for a 2 count. Casey hits a springboard missile drop kick on Tessa, sending her out of the ring. Kaylee Ray hits a tornado DDT on Casey. Tessa and Bianca clear the ring, throwing everyone out, throwing everyone out of the ring. Tessa and Bianca get into each other's faces and they start talking shit. Tessa pokes Bianca in the shoulder, and Bianca pushes her back. Before Tessa can get up, the other competitors get back in the ring and they start brawling again. Mickie James goes for the mitt kick, but Madison Rayne ducks under, gut kicks her, and hits a rain check for a pinfall. 1, 2, 3, and is now eligible. Mickie is put in the penalty box. Rayne goes to the outside and grabs a ladder and sets it up and tries to climb up, but Bianca cuts her off at the top of the ladder and hits a delayed vertical suplex off the ladder. Casey Catanzaro then hits a 540 corkscrew senton on the laid out Reigns for a 3 count, and Casey is now eligible. Reigns is put into the penalty box. Mickie and Reigns are both in there now, but they're both visibly hurt. When they realize they're in there together, they begin to brawl and just kicking the shit out of each other. And each other. It's time for as the ref opens the I know what I wrote doesn't make any sense. I wrote it. Okay, so they're brawling, and at some point, when it's time for Mickie to get out of the penalty box, Reigns grabs the door and slams the door into Mickey's face, busting her open, really bad. So Bianca gets up and acknowledges, right after the 540 senton, Bianca gets up and acknowledges how impressive that 540 was. But at that moment, Tessa comes in with a chair and lays out Bianca and Casey. She then hits Casey with a buzzsaw DDT, which is the hammerlock DDT, onto the chair and pins Casey, who is then put into the penalty box. Reigns' time in the penalty box is over, and at this point, she makes it back into the competition. Tessa then sets the ladder back up and begins to climb. Bianca is back up and climbs the opposite side of the ladder. The two exchange punches, but Bianca gets the upper hand. Bianca manages to grab Tessa and slam her head into the top of the ladder. Bianca then sets up and hits a KOD off the ladder on Tessa, but Tessa manages to roll out of the ring before Bianca can make her way to the pin to become eligible. Kaylee Ray comes out of nowhere and hits code red on Bianca, but only manages to get a 2 count. Reigns is out of the penalty box. Medical personnel check on Mickie, who's busted open from the door and is pouring blood, kind of like Joe Mercury was against the Hardys. They rush her to the back for more medical attention. Reign slides in and throws Kaylee Ray out of the ring and goes after Mickie, who overpowers her and hits a KOD onto the ladder for a 3 count. And now Bianca is eligible. Reigns is put back into the penalty box. Bianca sets up the ladder and is climbing when Casey springboards onto the ladder, much to Bianca's surprise. The two trade shots, but suddenly Tessa pushes the ladder over, sending both women crashing to the ground. Tessa sets up the ladder in the corner horizontally and Irish whips Casey into it hard. She tries to do the same to Bianca, but Bianca is too strong and manages to pull her in for a power slam. Kaylee Ray slides back into the ring and tries to pin Tessa, but Tessa kicks out. But Kaylee Ray super kicks her as she gets to her feet. Kaylee Ray climbs the top turnbuckle, but then decides to climb to the top of the penalty box and goes for a swanton bomb on Tessa, who manages to move at the very last seconds as the fans chant, "Holy shit! Holy shit!" Tessa then kicks her lifeless body out of the ring. Tessa begins to set up the ladder and makes the climb, but sees Bianca getting back into the ring and jumps off the ladder and hits Magnum, which is a diving double knee facebuster onto Bianca. We're informed that Mickie James suffered several bone fractures in her face and will not be returning to the match. Reigns tries to slam the door on Casey, because Casey's trying to is supposed to be getting out of the penalty box, but Reigns tries to slam the door in her face like she did with Mickie, but Casey avoids it and gets out of the penalty box. Reigns is furious, and because they at this point those two were in there together, and she tried to do the same thing she did to Mickey, but Casey gets out. Reigns is still stuck in there for 2 more minutes. Tessa makes her way back to her feet and starts setting up the ladder again. Tessa begins to make her climb, but Casey grabs her and manages to pull her down. Tessa manages to grab her by the hair and says, "Don't mess with me, little girl." But at the same time, Bianca comes in and she spears Tessa as both go through a ladder that was set up in the corner. So they go through the ladder from the spear. Casey is the only person in the ring and rushes to grab a ladder as the crowd chants, "KC, KC, KC." Casey sets up the ladder, is getting the ladder set up as Madison is kicking the door of the penalty box, trying to break out to stop her. As Casey makes her climb, the time runs out on the penalty box. Reigns runs out and climbs the other side of the ladder. The two are exchanging punches, with Reigns seemingly getting the upper hand. Reigns tries to push her off, but Casey holds on for dear life and hits an enziguri as Reigns gets her fingertips on the title. This sends Reigns crashing to the floor. Casey manages to reach up, grab the title, and is the winner and the first TCW Women's Champion. We pan around and we see the Carnage as the match as Casey sits atop the ladder with her newly won title. That's it. That's the match.
Can you rerun that ending for me again?
Yeah. So Casey is the only one in the ring. Madison Rain is in the penalty box. She gets out at the last second. She climbs up the other side. They're fighting. Reigns looks like she has the advantage. Tries to push her down, but Casey holds on. Reigns has hold of it. Is about to has a hold of it, but Casey hits an enziguri on her, and Reigns falls down to the ground. Casey grabs the title, and she's the first TCW Women's Champion.
So I just don't know how good this Casey Catanzaro girl is. So
I was just curious, what was Casey? Did she have a match on your last show?
No.
What did she do, building up to this? I know she did the go home show. You said she took out everyone and climbed the ladder, right?
Before she won the last chance battle royal to get into the match. Because remember, this is the company's only been around for a month.
Right.
So I don't have a number yet, but I just wanted to point out that you kept saying Reigns instead of Rain, and I was very fucking confused.
Rain.
I thought
Roman Reigns popped into this match.
Yeah, I didn't know who the fuck it was for a minute, and I had to fucking use my fucking noggin to figure this shit out. I said what I said.
And we all know Travis don't use that much.
Oh.
Anybody gonna give me a number? I'll take the 5 if you want to just give me the 5.
I'm thinking on it.
Yeah,
there was a lot going on. There was a lot.
It was hard to follow.
Yeah, that was the
bit,
honestly
but...
that's why I took points off, in my opinion.
But it might have been hard to follow. Probably hard to write.
Well, then he shouldn't have done it.
No, I'm not gonna fault you for taking a chance like that. It's just hard to write, but
it's hard to verbalize.
Well, because the match type is confusing already.
Exactly. You took one of the most confusing match types there is, and decided to do it through literature only.
I've done it.
It's more confusing.
I survived. I'll go first with a number. I think you had a lot of good spots. I do think the right person won. I feel like a Bianca push is too obvious in Book It Verse. Everybody's done it. And I feel like the Tessa push is a little too edgy, a little too toxic.
I honestly, I want to say, because you're on that. I think the wrong person won.
Ooh.
I agree.
Who do y'all
I
think
believe
won?
I agree.
With the programming that was built up and the way that it went on off of the show, I think.
Go ahead and say it, Mike.
I think Tessa should have won.
Oh
I
my
agree.
god.
Tessa
She
was
almost
pushed.
did.
Tessa was pushed as a star, and I personally
Travis,
believe
you ain't
backed
helping your
out.
case.
I personally believe you went back out and tried to go for a safer option.
I got others. Tessa's gonna be doing other stuff. Don't worry.
I
Oh,
think
she's gonna be committing some other crime.
Yeah, she's gonna be doing other.
I think the wrong person won.
I mean, maybe that's my personal real life bias coming in. But I don't think Tessa should win jack shit. I do think she works as a great foil for a babyface to win. I do think she was feuding with Bianca more than she was Catanzaro, but I think Catanzaro is a good choice.
I wonder why.
What?
I wonder why
what?
Tessa was feuding with Bianca more than.
Oh yeah, with
Casey.
Mo did the talking shit spot, I was like, you know what word she's saying. I'm gonna give this a 4.25. This was pretty good,
Ooh.
not perfect, hard to follow, but it had a lot going for it.
That's high.
Well, this is where I come in. Because I was about to do it, and then John took over. Yeah, this match was very, very confusing to follow. That's where a lot of my points got taken away from. I also feel like the wrong person won because I feel like you built up this evil, disgusting person that we have to hate on. And it's like all this build up, and it's like it feels like the build up was for nothing, in my opinion. Unless you probably got something planned later on, but for right now it just seems like
Well,
okay,
yeah,
we'll go
I
that
get
about.
it. Yeah.
So mine is definitely mine's not at 4.25. Mine is actually a 2.75. If I'm gonna be real.
He
I would
took
like to hear someone else's
took my
opinion.
coins away.
Right.
What did you give it?
2.75.
Oof. I didn't like. I didn't think the match was. The match was a little hard to follow, but that's again. I think that's more of a writing thing than anything. I'm not going to take points off for that. I do think the wrong person won, but I'm going to go 3.5.
Okay.
Keith, you want to go next? You want me to go?
Travis, you want to go last or next?
I'll go last.
I'll go
That's fine.
next. So,
This feels
I
weird
don't
getting a Keith
feel like
rating
I
right
agree that it
away.
was hard to follow, but I feel like that's because
Keith is
What?
delayed as a motherfucker.
Yeah, he is delayed.
shit.
Just keep talking.
I was gonna say I feel like the wrong person won because I would have really expected you to do some really toxic shit with Tessa. Somehow like screws over her other, not anyone specific, but the
No.
other talent in the match.
No, someone specific. Bianca. He
Now
wrote the
anyone
fucking
in the
angle,
match.
guys. Like, just go with it.
Now that I think about
He
it,
did,
with
he
Toxic
did.
Championship being the name, Toxic Tessa would have been so much money. So I'm starting to agree with them. I'm not going to take
Toxic
away my
Tessa.
coin. I'm not going to take away any coins, but now that they're convincing me on their point, I'm in the minority on this for a reason. I think they're right.
I'm gonna go 3.
I should have said
though.
minority around Tessa.
I'm gonna go $3 because I feel like this was.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with the. It was hard to follow. The wrong person won. I also think Casey Catanzaro is like she should be the underdog babyface that's like keeps just missing her shot.
I just feel like that's just too typical to just have doing the baby face who has to overcome the odds.
That's
a babyface.
yeah.
Well, I get it, but
now
not
it's
every
the
baby
heel who has to overcome the odds.
Right,
Welcome to
not-
Toxic Championship Wrestling.
Yeah, like I don't understand what you like. There's
Tessa's
stories
the hero
for
in
a
this
reason,
story.
because
It's
they work.
toxic.
No, I'm not saying that either.
There's only like 7 kinds of stories, guys. Like it's not like we can't be that creative. Like at the end of the day, it's the same story recycled all over again. Like, yeah, I'm with Kenny. I think a 2.75 is perfect. That's what I'm gonna give you.
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna move on to match number 2. So as we saw in the first episode of Reckoning, Pete Dunne defeated William Regal for the right to compete for the title, while the masterpiece Chris Masters was given the shot by general manager David Arquette. Masters shoved Dunne after Dunne had a match, and they had to be separated by security. The following week, Masters with Liv Morgan comes out, and he says, I know I don't need any introduction, but I know you all have the memory of a goldfish. My name is the masterpiece, Chris Masters, and last week I proved in less than a minute that pure strength beats technique every single time. When I push that rat-faced minion, Pete Dunne with ease.
Minion.
Might makes right.
I really hope that Chris Masters is posting memes of like fucking minions with Pete Dunne's face.
Guys like Dunn, they need to go and learn a million different submissions. Not me. I only need one. The Master Lock. Pete, I am the perfect man. Leonardo da Vinci himself couldn't have sculpted a more perfect example of the human body.
Okay.
Liv, unlike all of you fat, disgusting idiots, appreciates a masterpiece. Liv then has a mic and she says, "You all might be wondering what a girl like me who is doing with a Adonis like Chris Masters." Well, they say opposites attract, and it doesn't hurt that he has the perfect body. He says, as she says that, he like flexes and he like does the peck thing he does.
Do that again. Do that again.
You look more like ODB doing that.
You're not going under 2.5 just for doing that.
And
that's what gets you off, little titty flex.
And all I've heard since last week.
Hey, that's all it takes, Mike. I'll show a nipple on live.
It doesn't get me off. It gets me started.
Just every time. He's like, I'm gonna give you a 2. All right, 4.
And all I've heard since last week is, why, Liv? Why are you with Chris Masters? What did you think? Just because I like video games, I'd end up with an overweight, mouth-breathing neckbeard? Nah, Chris is the perfect man in every single way. Liv continues, Pete, I knew you grew up in the mean streets of Birmingham, England, and had to fight every day for food, water, the clothes on your back. But this is a whole nother fight you were going to have at Judgment Day. Chris then says he wants to give Pete a preview of what's going to happen to him at Judgment Day. Chris says, welcome to the first of many Master Lock challenges in TCW. If anyone can break my Master Lock, you will win $10,000. And he says, bring him out. And out comes Norman Smiley. Chris has the referee sit Norman into a chair, and when the ref gets ready, he locks in the Master Lock, which Smiley pretty much immediately taps out to. Chris doesn't let go, and Norman passes out, and Chris just chucks him to the side and does like the kiss me on the cheek as Liv kisses Chris on the cheek.
I just want to say now the wrong person already lost, or the wrong person already won. I'm out.
Dub. Norman Smiley should be pushed.
He's here. He's here.
Where's Hornswoggle?
Callback. That's a really long callback. The next week we get another Master Lock challenge with Yoshi Tatsu coming out to try and cash in, but he's unsuccessful.
Yes.
and he passes out too. Chris says, "Done. This is your future. I am leaving as the pure champion, and there's nothing you or anybody can do about it." Master then locks the Master Lock back in on Yoshi, causing Dunn to come out, and he makes the save. The following week, we see Dunn in the ring. Dunn says, "Chris, I get you're scared. Scared that only having 4% body fat isn't enough. That all the muscles in the world mean nothing. That you're just a scared little kid. You got all these muscles to hide your insecurities, and now you bully people just like you did as a kid in school. You're scared that everyone will see who you are when I beat you, Chris. Nothing more than a schoolyard bully. At Judgment Day, Chris, you will go one-on-one with the Bruiserweight for the pure championship, and I plan on breaking every single finger of yours, so I would come up with a plan B." Chris's music hits, and he says, "Oh, you mean plan B like your mother should have used? Pete Dunne, you don't get it, do you?
Bars.
It's impossible for you to win against me. First off, you're just too short and small to hang with a 6'4", 265-pound god. But I'm feeling generous tonight, and I'm willing to, instead of bringing out another person tonight, to let you take on the Master Lock Challenge. Dunn at first is like, I don't know if I want to do it, but then he agrees. So they set up the Master Lock Challenge. Masters locks it in, and it appears Dunn is fading, but he like kind of powers up and is starting to break free. But Masters, to avoid losing, he just low blows Dunn from behind. So like he has him in the lock and he just sticks his leg, like low blows him or kicks him in the nuts essentially. Dunn is down to a knee and Masters just starts brutalizing him and he locks in the Master Lock again. Dunn passes out, but Masters isn't letting go to the point like the referees have to come out to break it up. Security comes up and they break it up, and Masters finally lets go of the hold, and he flexes as it goes to commercial. That part was on the go home show. So to the match itself, Pete is out first, wearing a black and red singlet with the fur jacket. Out next is Chris Adonis, who's wearing black and blue trunks, with Liv wearing a black and blue leather outfit. Ricardo announces both competitors, and that the following contest is for the TCW Pure Championship. The bell rings, and Pete Dunne comes firing out of the corner and backs Masters into his corner with shots to the head, but Masters pushes him back and then hits a Polish hammer.
I'll show you a Polish hammer.
Masters, what?
He just shot his shot mid-show.
On the moan.
Yeah, that was my first choice anyway.
Thank you. Masters begins to work on the head and neck of Dunn. Masters hits a gorilla press slam, then stands on his chest and flexes for a 2 count. Masters goes for a clothesline, but Dunn ducks under and hits a step-up enziguri. Dunn manipulates Masters' fingers and stomps on his hand to try and prevent him from being able to lock in the Master Lock. Dunn hits a super kick and goes for the pin, but Masters powers out. I don't think I said this, but this is just the spots, not like bell for bell. Dunn tries to lock in a Kimura, but Masters uses his strength to overpower him and hits a spine buster. Dunn gets his foot on the rope at the last second. Masters pulls him into and that puts Dunn down to two ring breaks. Masters pulls him back into the middle of the ring, and he puts his boot on his neck while flexing, then stomps on his head and neck area. Masters goes to lock in the Master Lock, but Dunn counters and locks in a heel hook. Masters has to crawl to the bottom rope to break the hold, so both men are now down to 2 ring breaks. Dunn hits a snap release German suplex for a 2 count. Dunn goes to the top rope and goes for a moonsault plancha, but Masters catches him and transitions into a delayed vertical suplex for a 2 count. Masters Irish whips Dunn and goes for a clothesline, but Dunn ducks under and hits a super kick, and then the clothesline over the top rope, sending Chris to the apron. Dunn then hits a slingshot DDT on the apron. So to the finish, Dunn and Masters are both exhausted, and are trading blows as they make their way to their feet after they both hit a clothesline at the same time on each other. Dunn is getting the better of it, and he makes his way to his feet first. He bounces off the ropes and goes for a step-up enziguri, but Masters catches his leg and lifts Dunn into the air into a press position, and then hits a Samoan drop, but instead of going for the pin, immediately locks in the Master Lock. Dunn is struggling to get out and is almost makes it to the ropes, but Liv gets up on the apron and distracts the referee. Dunn does make it to the ropes, but the referee doesn't see it because he's dealing with Liv. And Masters uses his strength to pull him back into the middle of the ring. We see the strain in both men is you can see that Masters is really locked it in. Dunn is struggling to get out, but eventually the Master Lock proves to be too much, and Dunn passes out from the pain with the ref doing the arm check 3 times goes down for the third time with no response. So the winner and the first ever TCW Pure Champion is the masterpiece Chris Masters. That's the end of the match.
All right.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna give you a 5. I didn't find any issues with it.
Thank you,
I
sir.
think the right person won with the way you set it up. So yeah, 5.
I'll go next. I agree. That was pretty great. I like the pairing. I really like the pairing of Chris Masters with Liv Morgan. I think I said that in the
See,
last
I hated
show.
that last go around. That is
I
nasty.
think it plays. I think that the right guy won in the right way. So I'm gonna go 5.
I'm still calculating my score.
Kenny,
I
you
thought
go
I was
next.
delayed.
Okay. I don't know. I got mixed feelings about it. I don't really like the promos for the Chris Masters segment. That's just me. I wasn't really feeling that.
Okay.
But another thing is I don't know about him passing out from the master lock. I don't know. I don't like that. I
There's the
don't
whole
like
thing of the master lock is that you pass out. It's a submission hold.
It's the.
I know,
it's
but I
Bobby
thought-
Lashley's whole shtick right
Well, and
now.
it's better than like tapping out.
I prefer. I feel like with that one, I feel like you should tap out. In my opinion, that's just me.
I will say that yeah, Bobby Lashley and Chris Masters have both had multiple opponents pass out to that.
I know. I still don't like it though, but that's just me. Like,
I feel you. I get what you're saying.
I feel like the only thing Free should be tapping out if it's like a sleeper hold. That's not really a sleeper. It's just like this shit hurts. Let me tap out.
Stone
I feel like
Stone Cold passed out to the fucking sharpshooter.
I know, and I thought that
Yeah.
was the
was
most
dumb
over
too.
he's ever been.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was dumb as hell too, but that's just
You
me.
know you can pass out from pain, right?
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't
Only
know.
if you get hit by
It
the
look-
end
it
of
look-
days.
In
Hey,
wrestling,
we putting Kenny in the master lock at John's wedding and seeing if he passes out.
I'm not. Let you know right now.
I would say, if being realistic, you're not going to pass out from a full Nelson, but
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. From a full Nelson, you're not gonna pass out. That's just.
but also being realistic, we're not going to do fucking 450s in the middle of a fight. So how realistic can we be?
I mean,
Right.
you
I don't know
might not
about
be.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm hitting the
say.
crunch wrap. What are you talking about?
Yeah. All right. So I think with those, because I feel like I've always said, I feel like unless it's a sleeper or like a guillotine, then you shouldn't be tapping or you shouldn't be falling asleep from it. So I'm gonna go with a solid 4. That's where I'm at.
Okay.
What if
I
he's
think-
just rocking him to sleep like a baby? He's just rocking him.
Oh, at least that would make a little more sense if he was like singing to him. He's just like
You just whispered in his ear.
Now you know what you
Night.
need to do with your rock band. Have that be their finisher, the lullaby.
I knew I would be somewhere between the crowd and Kenny on this because I agreed with one of his points and not the other. I didn't agree with his master lock point, but I did agree that the promos weren't very good. I think there was a lot of like Mike-isms. Sorry, Mike. You kind of.
What does that mean?
So whenever Mike does write a bad promo, it's hard to describe, but Mike writes good.
Who the
promos.
fuck are you talking about? Bad
Stand
promos?
toes down, John. Don't pussyfoot around now.
say what you gotta say. Say what you gotta
You
say.
coined the
bro.
term
Hold up,
Mike.
Mike.
Yeah, say what the fuck you gotta say, my guy.
Say it with your whole
I'm
chest.
saying
right
it.
now.
Y'all ain't letting me, motherfucker.
We gotta build it up.
when Mike does cut a bad promo, which isn't all the time, but when he
Which
does,
is never.
he has this way of going about it.
Talk that shit, Mike.
And I ain't Mike. I'm the one talking the shit.
No,
John's coming
Mike
after
said,
Mike
said
on
he
his
never, He
birthday.
never happened.
I don't
I
like
write
that,
for Mike,
bros.
John. I write for Mike.
I write for Mike too, but I'm saying
Get the fuck
No,
outta here.
obviously not.
Nah, you said Mike-isms.
Mike,
Yeah,
Right?
Hey,
No.
I still gave a show like at a total of 4. Like, shut
John's
the fuck
just
up.
mad that we didn't make Damone do the accent like we made him do the
What
accent.
I don't understand what he
Let him
did
finish.
wrong
We
in his
keep fucking with him.
promos.
Okay,
Fucking with
whenever
him.
Mike has a bad promo, it sounds like a decom conflict where he's like, "You want a piece of me" or some shit like that. Like, that's what Damone's promos kind of sound like. So I'm gonna give this a 4.5.
Okay, I'll take it.
He says like, I'm gonna kick
What
his
can you
butt.
give it?
I gave it a 4.
Oh wow.
All right, Courtney.
All right, I'm the hater. So I just want to say you shouldn't be toxic championship wrestling anymore. It should be CMW convoluted match wrestling because you bring on the most convoluted fucking match types of all time. I don't know who Pete Dunne is. We want Butch.
I hate that.
He always thinks you look like Butch.
You're one to talk. Look at you right now.
I look like a Butch.
You look like one of the young bucks right now. Younger buck.
My ass.
We'll call you younger buck.
I'm Generation I.
Ew. I love Chris Masters' character and the character work he used. Despite his great character, though, I do think the story was weak. I think that Pete Dunne and Liv Morgan brought it down severely. I hated Liv Morgan's promo, and I hate Liv Morgan and Chris Masters together. I like the idea of him having a valet. I hate that it's Liv Morgan.
Dub.
I wanted Brock to come out to tap to the Master Lock Challenge.
The journeyman jobber.
He does lose a match.
I did not like the Plan B line from Chris Masters.
Oh, that shit was nasty.
Yeah, that was bad.
Actually, take off 5 cents for that.
That was the main thing I thought about too. When I thought about
It didn't fit his fucking thing. Did you hear John Kinney?
I said take off a nickel, so 4.45.
The right guy did win, so I don't know how they got you at 5s and 4s. To be honest with you, I'm gonna give you a 3.25.
Travis the hater, as always.
I don't see all these good things that they saw.
But you never do.
Honestly, I was sitting between the consensus. If you had gone before I did, I may have had lower, but I knew I agreed with like half of Kenny's criticisms, so I was like, okay, I gotta be reasonable.
Yeah.
But I would be honest, I thought that match was gonna do way worse. That was the match I was least confident in at all.
Is that the one you thought I would hate?
No, it's not a match itself. It's a segment.
Oh,
So
wait. This is pay-per-view, right?
What? This is a pay-per-view, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's just like a short segment. It's not like
okay. I was gonna. Never mind.
There's only like 2.
I mean, WrestleMania is about to have the fucking KO show on it, so
right.
True.
You got ads?
Yeah, true. I don't know why I forgot that they fucking do segments pay-per-views for like half a second.
Damone, do you have ads?
I don't. I did not write.
Fucking damn it!
I already wrote so much. I was.
You're gonna get .5s every time y'all put an ad in your show.
You're gonna get 5 every time you put a good ad in like Kenny does.
Like if it's creative, I feel like you should give me something. 0.5.
I'll give you this. If I enjoy it, I'll give you more than a 0.5.
I honestly don't think
that shows how much I've not enjoyed all of them so far.
This because Travis is a bona fide hater. Travis is on a fast track to hater of the year.
Again, because he knows if he can pull our scores down.
Oh my god!
Then he can win.
I got fucking literally certified mid last time. I was smack dab in the fucking middle.
That's how you do it without being.
We got a long show to get to.
He was pretty reasonable for me. I gotta give him that.
All right, go to your next part.
Okay, so on the first episode of Reckoning, the Motor City Machine Guns challenged the Fallen Messiahs, who, if you remember, are Seth Rollins and Christopher Daniels at Judgment Day. So the Fallen the Fallen Messiahs, they were presented with the titles, but Motor City Machine Guns interrupted the ceremony. The following week, the Motor City Machine Guns are back at the factory and decide that even though they have to wait for the pay-per-view to have their title shot, they still want to compete for their hometown fans. So General Manager Arquette sets up a match between Motor City Machine Guns and the Hollies. So Crash and Hardcore Holly. Mid-match, mid-match, the Fallen Messiahs come out and they join commentary. It's a hard-fought match, but the Motor City Machine Guns win after hitting Made in Detroit on Crash for the win. After the match, Seth and Daniels mockingly applaud the Motor City Machine Guns. Seth grabs the mic and says that they are so proud of them, and they got to at least get one win while they're here in TCW. because at Judgment Day, just like the Detroit economy, the Motor City Machine Guns tag team dreams in TCW will be dead. As a rain of boos come down from the arena, from the crowd. The following week, the Motor City Machine Guns are getting interviewed and talking about how much they love Detroit. And while it isn't the most glamorous city in the world, it's on the come up. And no matter what happens, Detroit will always be ready for a fight. They plan to bring the championships back to the city. Seth and Daniels show up and start talking trash about Detroit for being poor, smelly, and full of lead. Daniels tells them they must have eaten a lot of lead paint as kids if they think they're going to have a chance at beating them. Shelley then says that since you're so confident, why don't we have a one-on-one match right now? So Seth and Alex Shelley have a one-on-one match. Rollins originally he challenges Rollins to a match. Rollins originally disagrees, but eventually the general manager Arquette comes out and he makes the match. The match is made and it's like a back and forth contest, but when Seth's in trouble, like he's gonna lose, Daniels gets in the ring and he attacks Shelley, causing Sabin to also get in the ring, and the ref calls for the DQ. But neither of the tag teams care. Shelley is about to go for sliced bread, but Daniels low blows him. Seth is able to overwhelm Sabin, who he throws into the barricade. Seth and Daniels overwhelm Shelley. Seth climbs to the middle rope and they hit broken wings, which is so it's Daniels doing the angel wings as Seth comes down with a stomp. Sabin makes his way back into the ring and tries to fight them off, but it's 2-on-1, so he can't, and he gets hit with a broken wings as well. They grab Seth and Daniels grab the title and they yell at Motor City Machine Guns that they're gonna end their hopes and dreams at Judgment Day, and they'll be just like this dump of a city. The following week, Rollins and Daniels come out and they show a replay of their beatdown of Motor City Machine Guns. Seth says the vision is clear. The fallen messiahs will walk in as champions and walk out still your TCW tag team champions. The Motor City Machine Guns music hits, and Rollins and Daniels prepare for them to come from the ramp. The Motor City Machine Guns actually come through the crowd, hop the barricade, and get into the ring, and the two teams brawl. But this time, the Motor City Machine Guns get the upper hand. Seth gets thrown out of the ring. The Motor City Machine Guns, they grab Daniels and they put him in position for click, click, boom, which is a power bomb by Sabin, while Shelley does a double knee backbreaker. Seth gets up and he acts like he's going to get back into the ring to break it up, but he backs off as the Motor City Machine Guns hit click, 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 boom as the crowd cheers. The Motor City Machine Guns grab the titles and raise them above their heads. Seth walks back, backwards, talking trash and screaming at them to put those down. So for the match itself, the Motor City Machine Guns come out first wearing matching black and red pants and leather jackets. The Fallen Messiahs come out next with Seth wearing the black leather jacket with fur around the collar with black and white gear. Daniels is wearing black pants with white trim and a black trench coat. The bell rings and Seth and Sabin start the match. And this is just going to be spots again, not bell for bell. Seth hits a belly-to-belly suplex, lifts and twists into a reverse STO on Shelley. Seth tags in Daniels and hits a snap suplex on Shelley. And Daniels hits a top rope drop kick followed by a pin. Shelley kicks out. Shelley ducks under a clothesline and hits a flying thrust kick, then drags Daniels to his corner. Shelley tags in Alex and they hit a dream sequence, which is the inverted atomic drop by Shelley, followed by a running drop kick to the knees by Sabin, followed by an inverted STF by Shelley, followed by a running drop kick to the face by Sabin. Seth gets in the ring and he breaks up the pin. Sabin Irish whips Seth and hits a Hurricane Rana, followed by a springboard tornado DDT. Sabin has Seth in the corner and hits him with multiple chops, then sends him into a seated position and hits a hesitation drop kick. Seth rakes Saban's eyes and hits a pendulum backbreaker. Seth tags in Daniels, who Irish whips Seth and hits a calf kick, followed by a blue thunder bomb on Saban. Saban kicks out at 2.5. Daniels hits an Arabian press to the back of Saban as they begin to work Saban's back. Seth gets tagged back into the ring. Daniels hits a Northern Light suplex, followed by a springboard moonsault by Seth for a 2 count. Seth hits a small package driver into a pin, but Shelley breaks up the pin. Seth lifts Saban up for a buckle bomb, but Saban slips down from his back and hits a Pele kick. Both men are down. Saban almost makes it to the corner, or to the corner to Shelley, but Daniels pulls him back, or pulls Shelley down and throws him into the barricade, so there's no one for him to tag. Seth tags in Saban or Daniels, who hits a spicy drop, which is the Argentine face breaker, and then goes for a pin, but Shelley kicks out. Seth hits a Falcon Arrow on Shelley. Seth goes for a frog splash, but Shelley moves at the very last second. He makes his way to the corner for the hot tag as Seth makes it back to Daniels. Saban comes out of the corner hot and hits a drop kick on Daniels, followed by a tilt-a-whirl head scissors takedown. Seth tries to attack as well, but Saban ducks under and hits a dragon suplex on Seth. Seth and Daniels are on the outside trying to gather themselves after getting clothesline out of the ring when Saban goes over the top with a leap of faith and then takes out both to the share of the crowds. Saban throws Daniels back into the ring and they hit Thunder Express, which is an inverted sit outside power slam by Shelley with a running cutter by Saban, and they go for the pin, but Seth breaks up the pin like barely. Christopher Daniels counters a suplex attempt by Saban and hits a last rights, but only gets a 2 count. Seth ends up in the Tree of Woe in the corner. Motor City Machine Guns hit Bullet Point, which is a baseball slide by Shelley, followed by a hesitation drop kick by Saban. Seth hits a running shooting star press, followed by Daniels hitting BME to the back of Daniels. Shelley breaks up the pin, but as the ref is getting him back into the corner, Saban and Daniels double team Saban again, and they hit Evil Eye, which is the grand amplitude. Seth goes for the pin, but Saban like barely kicks out at like 2.9. Shelley counters Seth and hits It Came From Japan, which is a cross-arm scoop brainbuster. Then tags in Shelley. They hit Skull and Bones, but Daniels breaks up the pin. So all 4 men are in the ring as the ref tries to break it down back to the 2 legal men. Shelley Irish whips Daniels, then drop kicks him. Daniels falls out of the ring. He follows him to the outside, and the 2 men are fighting out there. So to the finish, Seth and Saban are the 2 left in the ring. They're the 2 legal men. They're trading blows. Saban gets the upper hand, dropping Seth to a knee. Saban bounces off the ropes and hits a Shining Wizard and goes for the pin. Seth kicks out at 2.5. Saban picks up Seth, who rakes Saban's eyes. Meanwhile, on the outside, Daniels counters an Irish whip attempt by Shelley and sends him into the steel steps hard. Seth then kicks out Saban's knee and super kicks him. He grabs him and takes him to the corner and tags in Daniels. Daniels grabs Saban as Seth gets to the top rope, and they hit broken wings for the 1, 2, 3. Your winners and still TCW Tag Team Champions, the Fallen Messiahs.
What's the broken wings?
What is it? So you know that Christopher Daniels, the Angel's wings, where like he hooks the arm and then lifts them up. And it's Seth coming off like the top middle rope and stomping them at the same time.
Okay.
Like, so it's it's the combination.
Gotcha. I'm gonna go with just a solid 4. There was a good match. I think the build was kind of like but I think the match saved it for real, and that's where I'm at with that. So I'm going solid 4.
Okay.
I'll go next. My problem with this is that like Kenny was definitely right about a good match. I wasn't very entertained by the build. I feel like the previous 2 matches had something that at least made it special. Well, I feel like this build was just there to be there. I'm gonna give this $3.30.
So random.
I couldn't go down to 2.5, but I couldn't go up to 50.
I'll take it. I'll take my nickels.
I agree with John entirely, but I don't want to be the hater of this. Like I've been pledged to be, so I'll give you $3.31.
So you're letting John be the hater today?
Hey, we're the contenders for Hater of the Year, but Kenny's hanging on by a thread.
You said I'm hanging on by a thread.
I see what you be doing to my shows.
It's just Mike and Keith, right? Left.
Yeah, I'm
Is
giving
that
you a
right?
4.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. It was a little bit. I don't know. I'm needing some toxicity from this. Like you're giving me a little toxic. But for
It's
toxic-
about to get bad.
Okay, good.
Now that's what I fucking want. The moment giving us this no seasoning to start. Better dump on the
Yeah.
Old Bay.
I'll go. This was an intense match. They had a lot of. It felt like a tornado tag. I'll go 350 for it.
Okay.
I think it could get better. I think this tag team division could get better.
It might need some cowboy shit.
Oh god, I forgot.
Yeah.
You got the fucking dirty fork coming.
It's a
You know
dirty
what it
spoon,
is.
damn it.
Put some respect on it.
So the next match we get is, so we're gonna go into the build for the next match. So the week after the first episode of Reckoning, we're given an update on Terry Funk's condition. Funk required a skin graft to repair like his back from like having part of his skin ripped off. It's announced that at Judgment Day, Funk will get a shot at the Death Championship due to the controversial way that Finn Balor entered the Royal Rumble or the Battle Royal. Sorry,
The Battle Rumble.
Battle Rumble. Yes. My brain wanted to say Royal Rumble, but it's not the Royal Rumble.
The Battle Rumble or Summerfest.
Finn is
Super Slam.
Finn is the champion. Will get to choose the match type. The commentators mentioned that no one has heard anything from Finn since he won the title. So that week goes by. Finn comes out to the ring wearing like the full demon paint, and like a leather jacket, and he has the death title on his shoulder. There's a replay of the end of the barbed wire battle royal as Finn sits in a chair in the middle of the ring with the lights dim and the spotlight on him. 1 second. So, good evening. For those of you who are uninitiated, I am the death demon, Finn Balor, your TCW Death Champion. You see, death is the only guarantee in life. Death is undefeated. Well, it was undefeated. You see, this championship, it isn't just a toy or a piece of leather. No, this championship symbolizes much more. It symbolizes overcoming death. And that's what I've done. That's what we've done. We've conquered death. And as long as we have this championship on our shoulder, we are invincible. And we don't plan to give up this power ever. But if that day ever comes... Hold on. I lost my spot. Okay. But if there's anyone in the back that wants to try and take this from me, you better be willing and ready to lay down your life in the ring, because I sure as hell am. And what a glorious death it would be. I can taste it.
Man, about to get sent off to Ukraine.
Damn it.
Terry, I know you're watching from your hospital bed, but I want you to lean in real close and turn the telly up just a little.
Wait, hold on. Did you just have this motherfucker say
He's
telly?
Irish. Yes, he's Irish.
He's in demon form saying this, right?
Yes.
Ain't no
Yeah.
fucking demon saying telly.
I would have giggled.
Not fucking Beelzebub out here fucking saying.
Shut up.
Beaver-
You.
I
Does
don't
he
know.
have a fucking
Demon-
crumpet in his mouth too?
No.
all I'm saying is that Demon Finn Balor better get his shit together before I send the Lord and Savior Gangrel over there to fucking
Ugh.
put him in check.
Yeah.
That is a collab no one wants.
You,
I will not turn on my telly for that.
You fought all around the world against the best of the best in every match imaginable. You've bled and made others bleed in every continent except Antarctica. You've been a warrior, a man who pushed himself and his body to the brink. We respect that about you, Terry. But now you're old and you don't have it anymore, do you, Terry? A young Terry wouldn't have let me so easily beat you down last week. But why do you keep coming back? Why do you keep going after you've lost not one, not two, but 3 steps? We figured it out, though, Terry. You've been waiting for us. You've been waiting on us. All this time, you sacrificing your body has led to this, Terry. You've been waiting to be put out of your misery, and we shall oblige you, Terry. We are going to end your career at Judgment Day. We are going to end your suffering, Terry. You don't have to thank us. It's our destiny. And since we get to pick the match type, what a more fitting way to end the career of Terry Funk than a match he helped make famous. A Texas death match.
Then it's the telly.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
Finn stares into the camera deadpan. The lights go out, and then when they come back on, Finn is gone. The following week on the Go Home show, the return of Terry Funk is promoted. Terry comes out to the ring. I cannot do a Terry Funk voice. That will hurt the shit out of my throat. Finn Balor.
Motherfucker sounds like Eustace off A Curse the Cowardly Dog.
Stupid dog, you're making me
Man,
look
you
bad.
sound like John trying to do a promo. John,
Mike's still mad. He got that salt in his mouth.
He's salty now.
I'm telling you, Mike holds grudges, bro.
You're one.
Mike still hasn't forgiven Damone for when Damone said I was his best friend.
Yep.
No, Mike.
no, still haven't. Damn straight, I still haven't.
Happy
Okay.
birthday, Mike.
Go back to the impersonation, please.
Yeah, don't give that up because that was hilarious.
I gotta find my smile eyes. It's fine now.
It was Finn Balor. There's that part.
Finn Balor, you're 1 sick son of a bitch, aren't you? You come out here last week and talked about defeating death and ending my career.
Thanks, Courtney.
Well, I hate to break it to you, neither of those things are gonna happen. Yeah, I'm not as young and as spry as I once was. And you caught me by surprise when you attacked me from behind in the battle royal.
You sound like
This is a yabba
Like
dabba
a
do ass feud.
like a southern gentleman.
I was saying, here's the thing: we may have forgot what happened, but Pepperidge Farm remembers. That's what it fucking sounds like.
All right, so back to Finn Balor versus Joe Dirt.
But that won't. I'm doing my regular voice.
Yeah, fuck that. Keep what you're doing.
No, you keep going.
But that won't mean a damn thing this Sunday or this Saturday. The arrogance to pick a Texas death match. You've lost the plot, son. I have no plans to retire anytime soon, and I fought men better than you. From the Ric Flairs to the Dusty Rhodes to my own brother Dory. Nothing you say is going to scare me. Steal a line from my good friend Mick Foley. I can take a licking and keep on ticking. This match won't be for those with a sick what?
Did you say take a licking?
And
Hey,
keep on ticking.
Oh my god, this is on the telly right
No,
now.
that's an actual Mick Foley quote.
Courtney
That's a
said
direct
keep the
quote.
yaw voice.
That's an actual Foley quote. I'm pretty sure he said it against Triple H. This match won't be for those with weak stomachs or children. This is going to be a fight.
Is that Finn or is that?
If you have weak children, keep them shit away.
Terry is walking up the ramp when Finn's music hits, but Finn is nowhere to be seen. Terry has his hands like ready to go for a fight. Suddenly, we see Funk look down, and there appears to be a river of blood flowing down the ramp. Terry looks up and he snarls as he gets the message that Finn is trying to send. So the match itself. Out first is Terry Funk wearing a black t-shirt, red bandana, and the red and black and white patterned pants. You know those clown ass looking ones he wears.
Does Terry have a t-shirt that says Finn sucks eggs on it?
No, he's not Chainsaw Charlie. He comes carrying a trash can full of weapons. He brings it to the ring and he takes off his shirt and throws it into the crowd. We see the bandages from his skin graft. The lights go out and the demon comes out wearing black and white face paint. Finn makes it into the ring, but before Ricardo can even announce both men, Terry goes right after Finn. The ref just rings the bell. Terry gets the upper hand and clotheslines Finn over the top rope. Matt Striker reminds the fans the rules of a Texas death match. So for a Texas death match, it's similar to Last Man Stand. The only difference is that you have to get a pin or submission, and then you can start the 10 count. So Funk goes right after Finn on the outside and throws him into the steel steps. He then begins to deliver hard punches. He then backs up and goes for a running knee, but Finn moves at the last second, and Funk hits his knee hard. He starts writhing in pain. Finn goes after him and attacks the knee. He mounts Funk and throws hard elbows and punches. He then takes Funk's leg and sticks it between the posts and the steps. So he puts his knee or his leg between the post and the steps, and then shotgun drop kicks the steps. Funk is screaming out of pain. Finn then grabs Funk and throws him into the ring. He goes under the ring and grabs a steel chair. He sets it up in the middle of the ring and he hits a brain buster onto the chair for a 2 count. Finn waits for Funk to make it to his feet, and he hits a sling blade and goes for the pin. Funk kicks out at 2. Finn then grabs the chair and goes to hit Funk, who's laying on the mat with it, but Funk kicks it into Finn's face. Funk then hits Finn with a series of hard strikes, then Irish whips into the corner. He hits a series of short arm clotheslines into the corner that puts Finn into a seated position. Funk then grabs the chair and puts it behind him. He then face washes Finn, then grabs him and tries to pile drive him into the chair, but Finn is able to counter into a back body drop. Funk gets up and he goes after Finn, who lands a Pele kick, kips up, and hits a tornado kick. He then grabs Funk and tries to hit Bloody Sunday, but Funk manages to slip out, kick him in the gut, and hits a snap DDT on Finn. Both men are down. The two make it to their feet and they're trading blows. Funk gets the advantage and drops Finn to a knee. Funk hits the DDT and goes to the trash can and grabs a kendo stick. Funk swings it, but Finn ducks, gut kicks Funk, Irish whips him into the corner, and hits a stinger splash. As Funk comes out of the corner, Finn grabs him and hits Bloody Sunday, climbs to the top turnbuckle, and hits a coup de grace for a pinfall. Now Finn can win the match by keeping Funk down for a 10 count. Funk still needs a pinfall or a submission to be able to get that, to be able to knock out Finn. Finn immediately gets up and grabs the kendo stick. He then begins to wail on Funk and tells the referee to count. Funk gets up at the count of 5. Finn goes for the shotgun drop kick, but Funk moves out of the way. Hold on, let's my spot.
So he has to get a pinfall and then keep him down for a 10
For a
count?
10 count. Yeah, that's the rules of a Texas death match.
Okay.
Funk goes or gets up at the count of 5. Finn goes for the shotgun drop kick, but Funk moves out of the way. Funk then begins to kick and punch Finn. He grabs the kendo stick and begins to beat down on Finn with it until it breaks, and then he goes for a pin. Finn kicks out at 1.5. Funk then goes and grabs a chair, then grabs Finn and hits a pile driver onto the chair. Funk goes for the pin, but only gets a 2 count to Funk's amazement. Funk then goes to the trash can and pulls out his signature branding iron. He swings and hits Funk with it in the stomach, then hits him on the top of the head. Funk goes for the pin, but Finn kicks out again. Funk then locks in a sleeper hold on Finn, but Finn is able to get out of it by driving him back first into the turnbuckle. Finn goes back after him, but Funk low blows him and then hits a pile driver. He then grabs the chair and puts it into the seated position and hits a hangman's neck breaker through the chair on Finn. He goes for the pin, but again, only gets a 2 count. Funk is frustrated that he can't get the pin. The lights in the arena suddenly turn red, and Finn begins to convulse. Then suddenly the demon is powered up and is back to his feet. Funk, who pulled himself up in the corner, is shocked and goes after Finn again and throws hard punches, but Finn is unmoved. Finn grabs Funk's head when he tries to punch him and squeezes his hand, bringing, so like Funk goes to punch him, Finn catches it. Finn grabs his hand and like squeezes it to the point where Funk goes down to a knee. And then Finn delivers hard knees to Funk's head. Finn then goes under the ring and he grabs barbed wire and wraps it around his hands. During this time, the referee is counting, but Funk manages to get to his feet at 7. Finn immediately grabs Funk by the hair and rains down punches with the barbed wire fist, busting Funk wide open. Finn's looking down at his blood-soaked hands and wipes it across his chest like a badge of honor. He doesn't lick it this time, John. Funk rolls out of the ring and is on his feet, but only for a moment. Finn comes flying over the top rope with a suicide somersault senton and lands on his feet. He then goes to the back of Funk and he rips off the bandages from Funk's back. He grabs a kendo stick from under the ring and whacks the wounds, opening them back up. Funk tries to punch and kick his way back into the fight, but Finn cuts him off and Irish whips him back first into the turnbuckle. Finn then goes back into the ring and not into the turnbuckle, into like the steel steps. Finn then goes back into the ring and he grabs the branding iron. He then dumps the trash can and he finds a blowtorch. Funk gets up at the count of 8 and slides his way back into the ring. Finn stomps on his back, then grabs the branding iron and the torch. He lights the torch and he heats up the branding iron, sorry. He then pushes it deep into the back of Funk. The smell of human flesh fills the arena. Funk is screaming in pain. Finn goes and stands in the corner as the ref starts to count. Funk gets up at 9, but between the blood loss and being branded, he falls right back down. Finn then grabs him and he hits not 1, but 3 bloody Sundays in a row, but he isn't done and he tells the referee this time not to count. Funk's not moving as Finn goes under the ring and he grabs the ladder and he also slides in the steel steps. He sets up the ladder in the middle of the ring and he puts the steps like right next to it. He then grabs Funk, who's still motionless, by the hair, and he puts him on his shoulder and carries him up the ladder. He puts him like on the other side. When they get to the top of the ladder, Finn kisses Funk on the forehead, and then he hits a bloody Sunday off the ladder onto the steps. So Funk's lifeless body slumps to the ground. The ref counts to 10 and Funk doesn't move at all. Paramedics race to the ring to attend to Funk. Finn grabs the death title and makes his way to the back. We see Mick Foley run out to check on his injured friend. The last image we see before cutting to a commercial is Funk being put on a stretcher with a neck brace as Finn looks back at Foley, who's like pissed and giving him a death stare.
Question.
Yes.
Well, that was something.
I told you it was gonna get bad. You wanted toxic. I gave you fucking toxic.
You did.
I didn't
you
ask for
did.
this.
You did. You
I
asked
did.
for toxic.
I asked for this, but now that
Rob
I got
asked for
it, I got some buyer's regret going on.
I'm with it.
It's almost like this middle part.
What was the brand?
I just need
What
to
is-
point out we just watched or heard Finn Balor versus fucking Terry Funk. So you're getting a 5 from me.
Thank
Yeah, that's a dream match for you.
I love
That's
that.
random.
I'm here for it.
That is
All right,
Happy birthday,
Keith
Mike.
Go. Let Keith go and quit interrupting him because he's
What
on
was
delay. He's
the
on
what
big
was the
delay, so-
brand? What was the brand? What did he brand on him?
A
What?
cock.
Courtney wants to know if he was big mad or little mad.
He was very big mad, Courtney. It would just say like funk on the brand.
It says funk you.
Actually, that's on brand. I like it. I'm
It is on the
really-
brand. I just said it.
On brand, yeah, literally.
I don't really see much of anything wrong with this. Like, it was a death match. Like, for real. Kenny's face. I'm gonna give you a 5.
Thank you,
I'm
sir.
with it.
All right, that's enough. All right, it's my turn now. That's enough.
Kenny
All
going
right.
for hater of the year now.
I'm not trying to go hater of the year, but I didn't like this at all. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Well, I ain't liker of the year.
Ugh. Yeah, I didn't like this. It was the build was a little wild. The build wasn't for me, first off. So build was, that's all I'm gonna say for that. The build wise, it wasn't for me. But the actual match, so it went from, it started off okay. I'll say that. It started off okay.
You didn't know when
You
to
kind
stop.
of, yeah, you should have stopped while you was ahead at one point. You pulled from Extreme Rules and did the Finn Balor power up thing. I mean, I liked it when they did it, but I mean, you kind of copied a little bit, which is, I mean, I got docked a little bit for that. But it was after that. It was after that. It was the anime punch catch thing you did when he swung at him. He caught it like he was the last dragon. I didn't like
That was actually pretty lit. I liked that.
I didn't like that. And then you got to the part that made my stomach hurt. I told you, I knew you was gonna do that because you did it last time. First, this is back, and now
And then
it's
just
back
back
again.
again.
You did it again. You said the human flesh smell filled the arena. That is awful. It's disgusting.
You know how much stank had to come off the thing for it
That
to fill
is
an arena?
We already smelled BO in the arena. Now we had that.
Because I was already worried when you said he brought out a what did you say he brought out?
The branding iron, or the brand, the
Kendo stick.
No, it wasn't the candlestick. The light. I don't know why I can't think of the name of it.
The torch, the
Y-
blowtorch.
Yeah, blowtorch.
Did
I was like,
you think I was
oh,
gonna
God.
set him on fire?
I didn't know what
I
you were
almost,
doing.
I thought about it. I almost did.
Look how excited he is to set somebody on fucking fire. This man is a psychopath.
I didn't know what you were doing, and I was like, what's he about to do here? And then you said the brand came out, and then you said the human flesh smell filled it. Oh yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, I should have went before Kenny because he's lowering my score in my head.
Oh yeah, so like I said, I didn't like that. I didn't like it. So I'm gonna give you a 0.6 for the audacity.
I'll take it.
You
Like I
get
said, 5s or 0.5s. I'll take a 0.6.
You got a 0.6 for the audacity. That's you
So
got.
so it's 5.6.
Yeah,
Yes.
5.6
All right.
for the
That
audacity.
makes okay. So with those two 5s, it kind of counteracts what I'm about to do, because I also didn't fuck with this all like that. And I knew it was coming.
I knew Travis hating this was coming.
I knew it. And, yeah, I knew that Kenny and Travis got weak stomachs, so they're the weak stomachs.
I
we
do
were
have a
talking
weak
about.
stomach. That's
And
correct.
you- and
you
acknowledge-
be
you
eating some
acknowledge
shit,
that-
Travis.
Bro, he acknowledged this mid
You eat
promo.
Arby's unironically. Like,
Did he? What did he say about us, Kitty?
No, he acknowledged this mid promo. He said, "This isn't for the weak stomach." I said, "You goddamn right." In my head, I was thinking that.
You're right.
I was like, "Let's see what he said. See what he does." And then when you did the match, I was like, "Okay, you might have did something."
John,
Then
you need
did-
to stop. John, you need to stop disparaging the great name of Arby's. I swear to God.
fuck Arby's and its click.
Fuck
Besides-
Arby's and the click they claim.
Have you ever had Arby's?
Besides the
Yes.
dollar floats. The dollar
Arby's
floats
is
are lit.
amazing.
Hey,
Arby's
can
is-
we
is
let's
trash.
keep this going. Give me my ratings.
Arby's is fuck you. Arby's is
okay.
We
fucking
still
amazing.
got we still got a good amount of the show to go.
Oh my god.
Oh, Travis, I'm sorry. We'd be on match 1 for Travis,
Travis got some nerve.
right?
All right, I'm gonna do 75 cents because I thought the Mick Foley at the end was a good touch.
What was it?
75 cents.
Okay.
Oh,
If
okay.
you want to say.
Courtney, you're wrong. You just need to point that out.
Courtney, you're close enough for me and Mike
Dub.
to jump you. You better chill out.
Courtney's right. That's a dub.
Did John rate?
No, I'm
No,
last.
fucking
It's your
buffalo
turn,
chicken
John.
sliders.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
Fire.
I'm gonna pull a Keith here and be the enlightened centrist here. I don't think it's a 5.
Oh, now he's pulling a Keith. You hear this, Keith?
I don't think it's a like 0.5 level like they do. I had
What?
stuff I loved and hated. I liked the anime spot. Some of the build was hilarious and good. Some of the build was like the telly that did not hit right. It even does not say telly. That's not happening. Some of your bars were disgusting in those promos. And the match had I didn't like the branding spot or like the flesh smell spot, but I did like other
John
things in
talks.
it.
John talks a big game how he loves hardcore shit and then hates hardcore shit.
I'm just like Kitty. I like dumb ECW.
They like
hardcore,
watered
not
down.
deathmatch.
Yeah,
Like watered
they like
down.
I like hardcore matches. I don't like death
The
matches.
two
You
people
like
that
Extreme
like
Rules
EC Dub, EC Dub. It's just like,
Agreed.
no, I
Yeah,
don't like
ECW
that. That's
didn't do
gross.
that
But
very often.
ECW didn't do death matches.
Get out of here.
They didn't.
Yeah, we're not saying
I don't care.
XPW or
This is a
CCW.
Or GCW.
Anyways, I'm gonna give this right clean in the middle. I'm gonna give it a 3. It is perfect mid.
Okay.
That was not mid.
That's a cop out.
That was not
Yeah.
mid.
That's
I'll take
literally
it
not
to
mid,
me.
but that's
It's
So
okay.
mid.
fuck you.
Okay.
That was
So
not
no. We come back from commercial, with Stryker saying that Funk has been taken to a hospital, and they'll do their best if they hear anything to let us know about his condition. Wes says Finn went too far. Vampiro agrees, but says Finn may have just accomplished his goal here tonight and ending Funk's career. Stryker then says, "Well, we hope that Funk is okay. The show must go on," and announces that the next match is Feast or Fired. And it goes
Hold
to
on.
a video package. Yeah.
Your commentary team is Matt Stryker, Don West, and Vampiro.
Vampiro.
Yes.
Okay. I hate Don West.
Fuck you.
Everyone hates Don West.
Nope.
Don
I
West
fucking
looks
love
like
Don
he owns
West.
looks like he owns a Pizza Hut.
He looks like he owns the Arby's.
Don West looks like he owns a
He looks
Arby's.
like Travis. What are you talking about?
He doesn't look like me at all. That's the thing.
Please continue your book.
He doesn't look like at all.
As seen on
I'd say that
episode,
too.
He looks like Steve.
So it goes to a video package explaining how we got here. So, as seen on episode 1 of Reckoning, Dolph Ziggler beat HBK for his spot, and
Best match
Enzo
ever.
beats Jimmy Wang Yang for his.
Another great
After
match.
what?
I saw how many people are in the match.
There is
Feast
I
of Fire,
would-
that's 4, right?
no. There's 4 briefcases, but I think in total there's 8 people.
Oh.
I wanna
that's
say.
right. 4.
You wrote it. He put it there.
I didn't count the number of people like off the top of my head. I'm gonna tell you who's in it in a second. So, right, it's Dolph, Enzo. After the match,
Dolph
Enzo
versus
formed.
Enzo alone is already a 5.
He introduced El Codice, featuring himself, Bruno Sammartino, and Little Guido. We then see highlights of the other qualifying matches that took place over the following weeks leading up to Judgment Day. Kurt Angle beats Finley with the ankle lock. Matt Riddle beats Mike Awesome with a bro Derek. Chris Bay beats Bob Backlund with a Baymisser. And Braun Breaker beats Apollo Crews with a camel clutch. Shane Douglas beats Brodus Clay with a Pittsburgh plunge. And Nakamura beats Jinder Mahal with a Kinshasa. The rules are explained again. There are 4 briefcases hanging on poles attached to the ring post. Inside each of the briefcases is some sort of paperwork. One of the cases holds a contract for the world title. One holds a contract for an X Division championship match. So one holds a contract for a world title match. One holds a title shot for the X Division. One holds for the tag team championship match with a partner of the wrestler's choosing, and the fourth and final briefcase contains a pink slip, which the referee who gets it is fired, or the wrestler who gets it is fired. Before the contents of the case are revealed, each wrestler is given the choice to keep their briefcase or forfeit it, which protects the wrestler from being fired, but they also give up their potential title match. Out first is Shane Douglas wearing black and yellow trunks. Next is Chris Bay, who's wearing black and purple pants and a black cutoff leather jacket. Breaker is out next, sporting the tie-dye singlet he wears. Nakamura comes out wearing his all red and black trim jumpsuit. Enzo comes out with El Cadice wearing a black fur coat with leather pink print pants. Dolph comes out wearing pink shorts with black trim. Riddle comes out wearing his yellow, like the Kill Bill gear. And lastly comes out Kurt Angle. And it's with his TNA theme song. And he's wearing the
He's
American
all perked out. Yeah.
the American flag singlet. So Ricardo announces each man who steps into the center of the ring when they're called, and they like do it their like taunt or that their taunt. The bell rings. It's complete chaos. Everyone goes after one another, with Riddle and Dolph working together against Braun and Shane. Suddenly, we see Little Guido and Bruno come out to the ring, and they pull Nakamura off Enzo. Bruno chokeslams Nakamura as Little Guido helps Enzo to his feet, and he helps him up the turnbuckle, and he grabs a briefcase as Bruno keeps everyone at bay. Enzo grabs the first briefcase and slides out of the ring and goes and sits down over by commentary. So there's 3 briefcases left. So this isn't going to be bell to bell. So Nakamura, this is just be spots. So Nakamura hits a Death Valley driver on Dolph Ziggler. Shane Douglas hits a belly to belly on Matt Striker. Chris Bay hits Kurt Angle with a Chris kick, which is a spinning back hook kick. Angle hits a double German suplex on Breaker and Douglas. So he suplexes them both at the same time. Dolph hits a Famouser on Douglas as Riddle and Bay watch on. Bay says, "I'll do you one better," and he hits a Baymaster on him. Riddle says, "Hold on," and he hits a perfect RKO and then kips up. But then Bay and Dolph super kick him at the same time. Bay is climbing to one of the briefcases when Kurt runs up and catches him in a German suplex position. Riddle then slides in and grabs onto Kurt in a German suplex position from the middle rope. Breaker then grabs Riddle around the waist, and there's a super tower German suplex. As Braun makes his way, makes it to his feet, Dolph manages to sidestep a spear attempt on the outside by Douglas, slides in and super kicks Braun and hits a zigzag. He then climbs up and he grabs a briefcase. So there's 2 left. So Enzo has one and Dolph has one. Riddle and Nakamura are trading strikes in the middle of the ring. Nakamura bounces off the ropes and goes for a spinning heel kick, but Riddle slides under and hits a bro to sleep. He then races to another corner and goes to grab a briefcase, but Kurt cuts him off and goes for a German, but Riddle lands on his feet. But Douglas comes in and hits a Pittsburgh plunge on Riddle, who rolls out of the ring. Bay springboards from the outside of the ring and hits a tornado DDT on Douglas. Bay celebrates for a moment, but then gets hit with an angle slam. Kurt then makes his way and grabs the third briefcase, so there's only one left. Chris Bay is climbing up to the last briefcase when Braun Breaker cuts him off and hits a reverse Frankensteiner off the top rope. Nakamura hits an exploder DDT on the entrance ramp on Douglas, then the Kinshasa. When he gets back into the ring, he gets hit with a belly to belly by Breaker. Douglas and Bay are on the apron trading shots. Douglas bounces Bay's head off turnbuckle. Bay elbows Douglas and he hits a triple C, which is the crazy Chris cutter off the apron to the outside. Nakamura gets his hand on the briefcase, but Breaker stops him and hits a razor's edge off the top rope. Breaker is climbing up to grab the last briefcase when Riddle grabs his leg at the last second. Breaker is forced to come down, and the 2 trade punches and elbows. Breaker hits Riddle with a forearm and he wobbles him. He then puts Riddle in position for a military press slam, but when he goes to slam Riddle counters it into an RKO. Riddle manages to crawl his way up to the last briefcase. Douglas tries to cut him off by doing a belly to belly off the top turnbuckle, but Riddle headbutts him several times, sending him crashing to the ground. Riddle reaches up and he grabs the last briefcase and falls to the mat. Do you want to do the reveal as a separate segment, or you want me to roll it all in?
I think roll it all in because it's the outcome of the match.
Okay, so Arquette comes out and he asks the men with briefcase to join him in the ring. Join him and Riddle, who's already in the ring. So Dolph, Enzo, and Kurt come into the ring. Arquette says, one by one, you will reveal what's in your briefcase right here and now. Also, for an added twist, you can choose whether to keep the briefcase you have, forfeit it, but you lose whatever's in it, or you can force someone to trade with you. So, someone who hasn't opened theirs yet. So the briefcase openings will be determined by the order they were retrieved. So Enzo, you're first. Enzo chooses to keep what he has, and he gets an X Division championship contract. Enzo says he doesn't care who wins the X Division championship match tonight, whether it's that Carl Winslow impersonator Keith Lee or that Mickey Rourke lookalike Jerry Lynn. Very soon, the X Division Championship will be around the waist of the Don, Enzo Amore. El Codice leaves the ring. Next to open their briefcase is Dolph, who sells that he might switch, but then he ends up keeping it. Dolph opens it, and it's the Tag Team Championship contract. Dolph says, looks like I'm going to need to find a partner, but I already know just the guy. Arquette says, do you want to elaborate? Dolph smiles and says, no, not yet. So then he leaves the ring. It's down to Kurt and Riddle. Kurt grabs the mic. We both know what it's like to be fired, don't we, Matt? But I also know what it's like to be a world champion, unlike you. So my gut is telling me that the briefcase that you have has the world title shot. So give it to me. Give it to me right now. He yells at Riddle and he grabs the briefcase from his hand. And Riddle's like, chill, dude, chill. Arquette, bro, I'm sorry,
bro.
Chill, bro,
Yeah.
chill. So he yells at Riddle and he rips it from his hand. Arquette gets between the two. Riddle says, bro, calm down. Good luck, and tries to shake his hand, but Kurt refuses. Arquette says, on the count of three, you will both open your briefcase. One of you will get a world title match whenever you want. The other will be fired on the spot. 1, 2, 3. They both open their cases, and the man being fired is the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle. Riddle gets a guaranteed title shot. Kurt is in shock at first as Riddle celebrates. Kurt then tries to steal his original briefcase back by attacking Riddle, who ducks a clothesline attempt and hits a bro to sleep on Kurt. As Kurt is laying on the ground, Arquette walks over. You know, I've really always wanted to say this. Kurt Angle, you're fired! Riddle celebrates
You got a
with the
hernia from that.
Riddle celebrates with the audience as he makes his way to the back. Kurt starts to get up and begins to swear, and he pushes the cameraman down on the way out as the fans chant, na 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 na, na 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 na, hey hey hey, goodbye. And that's the end of that part.
I'm going first. Damone, this is a clear, crystal, beautiful 5.
Thank you.
You have a good pool of participants. I love Feast or Fired. It's so fucking fun. And I feel like you planted some awesome seeds. Kurt Angle was the right guy to get fired.
Courtney, it'd be more entertaining than that brawl.
Hey, Courtney is on the ballot now for Hater of the Year.
Honestly, they steal so much from us as it is.
They really do.
We
I
might as well
booked Johnny Knoxville first.
He did, and he did book Johnny Knoxville first.
Anyways,
And better.
yeah, WWE's ass. Anyways, but Toxic Championship Wrestling is not ass. This is a 5. Right pool of participants. Kurt Angle was the right guy to get fired. He's been there, done that. We've seen him get main events before. So he loses nothing. You set up 3 awesome seeds for later. So that's 5.
I already knew he was gonna say 5. Just because Riddle was gonna shot the world title, so we all saw that coming. Yeah, so it's my turn now.
Here comes the hate.
I'm not hating. I don't know. It wasn't a 5. I'm not gonna sit there and say it's a 5 like John was talking about.
L.
John likes complicated matches. I realize that now. The more complicated the match is, the more he likes it.
Hey, it takes a high IQ to understand TNA match types.
No, because you'll say about Eminem, a couple of his bars, and then you'd be like, "Yo, you gravy, yo, blah, blah, blah." So I gave it a solid 3.
Yeah.
I think the match was cool. I just thought the ending was predictable. Like I kind of saw who was gonna get what. Like that was kind of obvious in my opinion. So I wasn't surprised at that part at all. So yeah, that's why I gave you a solid 3 for that.
Okay. I'm gonna give you a 4.
Okay.
Yeah, Courtney.
I liked it. I didn't hate it. I think the right person got fired.
Okay.
I don't think it was perfect though.
Okay. I'll take a 4. Keith? Travis?
Keith.
Man, this is like kind of difficult because this is one of those matches that would be more interesting to watch than hear. And the results of it are really what matters. I feel like I'm a little shocked that you had Kurt get fired. Was he actually drafted?
Yes,
Yeah.
by me.
But he's currently on contract with me.
Okay, interesting.
He got traded.
I feel like after Enzo won and you said he jumped on commentary, I had hoped that you were going to do some Enzo commentary throughout the whole match.
No, that would have been too much work.
I just feel like that would have added so much more to his
I didn't have
character
him,
because it feels like you're pushing him really good.
I didn't have him like on commentary, like he's just sitting like over in that area.
Okay, that makes more sense. Because I thought you said he got on commentary, and I was like, okay,
No,
he's about
he's
to like talk some shit.
He's over by the
You
commentary.
should have
team.
had him talking some shit.
Yeah, I feel like you missed an opportunity there.
Okay.
But overall, I think everything played out how it should. I'll go for a 3. It seems very middle of the road there.
Okay.
How much more do you have left?
I agree, a 3.
Okay. Like 4 matches and like 2 segments.
Okay.
Okay.
Travis
So
ass booking.
no, we're going to build to the next match. So, as promised on the first episode of Reckoning, Team Pump debuts on the second episode. Jordan and Petey made easy work of Conan and Mercedes Martinez. After the match, they're celebrating and we hear "woo" throughout the arena. Out come Rick and Charlotte Flair. Rick and Charlotte both come out. Rick is in a black suit with Charlotte in a black evening gown. Rick says, "Woo! It's good to be here again in the Motor City. The Nature Boy has painted this town red many a times. I've been to every bar in this place I've been to every bar this place has to offer, and I've been with the best the city has to offer as well, if you know what I mean." Charlotte says, "Now you two might be wondering why we came out here. We heard that TCW is going to be crowning the first ever intergender tag team champions at Judgment Day. And who else besides the first family of professional wrestling should hold those titles but the Flairs? But we also heard you two are planning to be in the title match at Judgment Day. If I were you, I'd just go to the GM's office and back out of the match before we embarrass you." Rick then says, "The Flair family is genetically superior. We have the best male wrestler ever and the best female wrestler in one family." Jordan then gets a mic. Rick, Charlotte, you two are right. You two are undeniably two of the greatest wrestlers of all time. But that doesn't mean anything when you get in the ring with Team Pump. We aren't just going to lay down for you. Pete says, when you step into the ring with Team Pump, you are just like everybody else. Your last name can't help you when you step into the ring with us, Charlotte. Grace says, and Rick, I know you're used to taking advantage of women, but that's not that this isn't that kind of party. So Rick like starts flipping out and like throws his coat off, being overly dramatic like Rick does. And Charlotte like has to hold him back. Jordan says, "Come on down, Rick. I'll fold you in half." Rick like takes a step back. Charlotte says, "You two are playing a very dangerous game. At Judgment Day." Oh, lost my spot. Sorry, lost the spot. At Judgment Day, the Flares will be victorious and once again make wrestling history. While Petey, you can go back to being wrestling trivia. Hey, Dad, who created the most overrated move in wrestling history? Rick says, I know this one. Petey Williams. And Jordan, you can go back to whoring yourself out on the internet. What's your OnlyFans again?
Damn it.
See you at Judgment Day. Both of the Flares, woo! The following week, Team Pump has another tune-up match, this time against cheerleader Melissa and Kenny Dykstra. After Jordan hits a here it is daddy driver on Kenny. And like Kenny Dykstra's in the full cheerleader, like
that is disgusting. I'm sorry, that's disgusting.
So as they're celebrating, well, they get their ass whooped. So as they're celebrating, as Team Pump is celebrating, the Flares come from behind and they proceed to beat down Team Pump. Charlotte hits Petey and Grace with a dual natural selection as Ric Flair, locks in the figure 4 on Grace. As Charlotte screams at her that she's not on her level. Scott comes out and Scott Steiner comes out and the Flares scamper off. On TMZ, Arquette confirms that it will be Team Pump versus the Flares at Judgment Day. The next week, there's a 6-man tag match with all of Team Pump, so Scott Steiner, Little PD Pump, and Thick Mama Pump, Jordan Grace, versus Charlotte, Ric Flair, and Carlito. When Team Pump gets the advantage, Carlito abandons his team and Team Pump wins. Petey hits a Canadian Destroyer on Charlotte, then is about to hit one on Rick, but Grace says, let me do it. Jordan Grace hits a Canadian Destroyer on Rick, and then they pose and like flex over their future opponents.
God, Rick got so much CTE trying to sell that shit.
like he doesn't already, it appears like. So Jordan Grace, before the match, like leading up to it, tweets out that Team Punk will have a very special addition to the team who will debut on at the pay-per-view. So Twitter goes crazy trying to figure out who it is. They're making all sorts of guesses. The Flares come out first wearing blue and white robes. They make the referee hold the ropes open for them, and they make their way to the corner. The lights dim, and we hear the siren from like Scott Steiner, and then we see the Team Pump symbol. But then Flex Like Ooh starts to play, and out comes Little Pump with Jordan Grace and Williams, and Petey Williams. Little Pump raps the song as they make their way down to the ring. Petey is wearing the chainmail headgear and black and blue trunks, while Jordan is wearing black and blue gear. As they enter the ring, Little Pump finishes the song and yells, "Holla if you hear me!" As the crowd chants along. The match looks like it's about to begin with Charlotte and Jordan, but Charlotte immediately tags out and tags in Rick. But Jordan doesn't get out of the ring. She doesn't back down, and her and Ric Flair do a test of strength, and Grace wins, which shocks Flair. They lock up again, and Grace manages to push him into the corner. The ref gets between them, and Grace makes a clean break, but Rick doesn't, and he pokes her in the eye to get the advantage. And then it's just going to be spots now. So Rick begins to work the legs of Jordan. He chop blocks her legs and drops a knee on her thigh. Rick Irish whips Grace into the corner and hits her with knife edge chops. Rick then tags in Charlotte, and the two take turns just chopping the shit out of Grace. Charlotte Irish whips Grace, then hits her with a big boot, and then hits a standing moonsault for a 2 count. Charlotte drapes Grace's knee on the bottom rope, then jumps on it. Charlotte goes for a German suplex, but Grace is able to block it. Flair goes for another big boot, but Grace ducks under and hits a spine buster and gets a hot tag. PD hits a slingshot. I can't talk. Blah, blah, blah. Slingshot, head scissors takedown on Rick, who got the tag from Charlotte. PD Irish whips Rick into the corner and puts him on the top turnbuckle and hits a super Frankensteiner. PD tries to go for standing Spanish fly, but Rick elbows him on the top side of the head. Rick lifts PD for a delayed vertical suplex. Mid-match, he blows a kiss at Jordan, who looks disgusted. Rick Irish whips PD into the corner, and he hits knife edge chops. He tries to Irish PD back into the other corner, but PD counters and Irish rips Flair hard into the corner. Flair comes out of the corner with his fist up, and he does like the punching air thing, and then he just face plants. PD goes for a lion salt, but Rick manages to get his knees up. Rick then hits a back body drop and tags in Charlotte. Charlotte hits a tilt-a-whirl gutbuster. She then Irish whips him into the corner and foot chokes him. Charlotte goes for natural selection on PD, but manages to evade it. He then hits her with an elbow shot, and then hits a jumping neck breaker, followed by a lion salt and a pin attempt. Rick breaks up the pin. So for the finish, Charlotte and PD are the two legal participants. They both go for a running clothesline and lay each other out. Both make it to their corners for the tag. Grace comes in and lays out Rick with clotheslines and a fisherman suplex, but only gets a 2 count. Grace goes for a hip attack, but Rick pulls the ref in front of him, and the ref is down, and the ref falls out of the ring. Rick goes for a low blow on Grace, who laughs because obviously it has no effect. She then grabs Rick by the throat, but Charlotte has a chair and she whacks her in the head with it. PD gets in the ring and gets laid out too. Charlotte throws the chair out of the ring, then grabs the ref and puts him in the ring. Rick covers Grace, but Little Pump pulls the ref out at the very last second, preventing the 3 count, and tries to explain to the ref what happened. Rick then punches Little Pump and slides back into the ring. Charlotte wants to be tagged in. Charlotte waits for Grace to go for a spear. Waits for Grace and tries to go for a spear, but Grace counters it with a DDT. Rick gets in the ring, but PD is up and he super kicks Rick. Grace signals for the Destroyer. PD goes back to the corner and Grace tags him in. PD then tags in Grace, so they're both been tagged in, so they're both legal for the moment. PD hits a Canadian Destroyer on Charlotte, followed by Jordan Grace hitting the fall from Grace, which is she runs into the corner, jumps up on the second rope, and then flattens herself out and lands on the person. Rick gets back in the ring, but PD hits him with a running Canadian Destroyer to prevent him from breaking up the pin. Jordan gets the pin 1, 2, 3. The winners and the TCW Intergender Tag Champions are Team Pump. Team Pump celebrates with Little Pump on their shoulder. That's the end.
We'll see. One of y'all go. I'll do mine last.
Mike, you go first.
Who won?
Team Pump.
Team Pump.
I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
Okay.
I didn't hate it, but I wasn't gripped.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't
You
do your
weren't
homework.
pumped?
That's why. You weren't pumped.
I'll go next. Man, there was plenty good with this match and nothing horrible about it, but there was also a lack of something great about it.
Okay.
I'm gonna give this
You too,
a
Courtney.
3.75.
Okay.
Honestly,
Anyone
I don't
else?
have anything to say about this either way. I just think it's kind of mid.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a 3.
Okay. I'll take it. Keith.
Yeah, I feel kind of the same. I feel like the promos could have been a little more wild. I know there's some good punches in there, but the match itself was good and interesting. I feel like the right team won because fuck Charlotte. I'll go $3.85.
Okay, I'll take it. Now into the segment that I'm pretty sure Travis is gonna hate. So,
Great.
Stryker, like, goes back to commentary. Stryker hypes up the event so far. We just had our first intergender championships crowned, and earlier we saw the Fallen Messiahs retain the TCW World Tag Team Championships. Don West says, speaking of tag teams, this past week on Reckoning, we saw the formation of a new one, and it cuts to a video package outside of a bar. It's the Dirty Spoon. We go inside and we see like a bunch of rowdy people. We see Hangman Page and Jimmy Wang Yang. They're playing poker with some of the locals. Jimmy loses a hand and says, "God damn it!" And like he's like, "Fuck," or like, "Damn, I can't catch a break, man." Hangman says, "It could be worse." Remember last week when that really weird guy we passed by, he like shoved candles in the other guy's eye? That was like, you could be that guy. You got the candle shoved in his eye. Wang's like, yeah, I guess. And the card game continues. Hangman and Yang says, look, Hangman, this has been great and all. I've had a ton of fun these last few weeks, just drinking, playing cards here. But I need to figure out what I'm going to do with my wrestling career. Hangman is about to talk when respond when like a big burly guy who's about like 6'4", 280 pounds with a goatee and tribal tat on his shoulder says, "Will you two just get a room? Can you two get a room or play?" Heyman says, "Sure," and he lays down his cards. He has a royal flush. The guy gets pissed and he's like, "You fucking cheater!" And he accuses Heyman of cheating. Heyman says, "One thing I'm not, sir, is a cheat." Now, Gerald, I got no problem with you. Gerald says, "Well, I do with you," and he shoves Hangman. Hangman then punches Gerald, and the whole bar turns into one big fight. Hangman and Wang are able to clear the bar, with Hangman hitting a buckshot lariat at one point over the bar. Gerald is the last one standing with those two. Yang and Hangman look at each other. They super kick him, and then they hit a double suplex onto the pool table. Hangman says, "We make a pretty good team." Wang's, yeah, we do. Hangman says, "I think it's time me and you, we team up and we show the world what this cowboy shit is really about." Wang agrees. Then we hear sirens. They both reach behind the bar, grab a beer, put down like enough money for the beer and the tip because they're not thieves, and they always make sure you tip your bartender. And like we hear sirens as police arrive. And it cuts back to commentary. Vampiro says the tag team division appears to be heating up here in TCW. That's the end of that segment. It's like a 3-minute thing.
I like it.
Is it like super movie like, or is it like?
Yeah, it's like super movie like. Yeah,
cinematic.
I like
guess,
it.
like cinematic. Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a 4.
Yeah.
I like this a lot. I feel like it's funny. It serves a purpose. And I like the buckshot lariat over the bar. That's pretty sick.
I do too.
You know what? I'm gonna give this 5.
I like it.
Question,
Yes.
Damone, and this is gonna make or break you here. At one point, did anyone set a guy on the bar and run him across the whole bar, knock him
Of
into all the
course.
drinks.
It's a bar fight,
It's
of course.
$5. $5 for me.
If you're doing a bar fight, you got to do this slide across
You got
the
to.
bar.
Like Sting did to that kid in that commercial.
I hated that commercial.
You hate commercials.
I really do. It's a generational thing. This was fine. It wasn't anything to write home about. I'll give you a 3.5.
That is way fucking higher than I thought I was gonna get from you.
So you have one more segment and 3 more matches?
I still got a vote. I still got a
No,
vote.
I know, but
Disenfranchised him.
He did.
no, you can get your thing in. I just want to know how much more he's got.
I gotta be up at 6 a.m.
Yeah, I'm going to bed here in a minute. I'm gonna have to listen later.
Yeah, 3 matches, and actually, it's only one segment because one of the segments rolls into a match.
All right.
We all about to jump off and let Damone just read to the people.
Damone really out here writing a Travie T show. This is
Nah, I'm here
ridiculous.
to the
Serious.
end.
I'm only 2 hours in. Like Travis,
And you've got 4 matches left.
Yeah, you 2 hours in, you got like 7.
Bad guy, give us your points on that.
Okay, so I like the shots you threw at me. You know, I appreciate that. I like a good little shot throwing.
The
So
candle.
I'm
Tell
gonna
him,
go
Courtney.
with
You
a
tell him.
solid. I'm gonna go with a solid 4. I'm going with a solid 4. I did like the buckshot lariat as well. It all wasn't good. I ain't gonna sit there and say like it was 5 worthy, but it served its purpose.
It's hokey.
Yeah.
I like whenever Kenny likes something but wants to tear you down a little bit, he'll just say, it wasn't 5 worthy.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Like 5 is perfect.
But you didn't have to say that. You just gave him you said it's a 4, so you don't have to then again say it's not 5 worthy.
I think Courtney wants to join cowboy shit. So we're gonna do next match is going to be
All right, I'm hopping off here.
okay. Bye, old man Mike.
Good night. Later. I will listen as
How
soon as
much
I can.
You
Okay.
got 4 more segments.
David Arquette announced X Division champion with the finals at Judgment Day. So the participants are Keith Lee, Jerry Lynn, Jungle Boy, Pentagon, Dragunov, Amazing Red, Angel Garza, and Willie Mack. In the first round, Keith Lee beats Amazing Red, Jungle Boy beats Pentagon, Willie Mack beats Angel Garza, Jerry Lynn beats Dragunov. In the second round, Keith Lee beats Jungle Boy with a Spirit Bomb. Jerry Lynn wins with a Cradle Pile Driver. After his match, Keith Lee comes out and shakes Jerry's hand. He grabs the mic. Jerry, I respect the hell out of you. You're a pioneer. So our match is not going to be a grudge match or any of that other BS. It's just going to be straight up. Who's the better man? But we both know it's me, don't we, Jerry? Jerry says, Keith, you're right about 2 things. I am a pioneer, and there is no ill will or grudge between the 2 of us. But don't think that means I won't kick your teeth in. I'm going to give you everything I have. I hope you're ready for it because the things I will do to win this match are limitless. Which Keith Lee chuckles at.
Boo.
He then
tomatoes, boo.
At the end of that promo, does Keith Lee just rub his chin and go splendid?
Keith Lee looks like
that type of guy.
Keith
Keith Lee looks like the type of guy that has the fucking hat. The good day, my lady. Like that.
He looks like
he
he looks like he has a monocle. He should have a monocle.
He looks like he eats relish on a hot dog.
Keith Lee smirks. So the match itself, Keith Lee comes out in powder blue trunks with pink trim. Up next is Jerry Lynn wearing all black tights. The bell rings and the 2 shake hands before locking up. So the spots, Keith Lee pushes Lynn down when the 2 lock up in a collar and elbow tie up. Keith Lee Irish whips Lynn into the corner and follows up with a stinger splash. Lee goes for his vertical suplex, but Lynn slips under and hits a release German suplex. Lee is on the apron and Lynn hits a triangle drop kick, sending Lee to the outside. Lynn goes over the top rope to the apron and hits an apron cannonball. Lynn punches and elbows Lee, but he starts to no-sell it. Lynn bounces off the rope, but Lee does the pounce, sending Lee flying, and he falls out of the ring. Keith Lee lands a corkscrew plancha on the outside. Lee does another release German suplex, but this time Lynn lands on his feet and he hits a spinning wheel kick. Lynn hits a diving bulldog, then a running knee, but only gets a 2 count. Lynn hits a turnbuckle northern light suplex as Lee uses the rope to get to his feet. Lynn goes to the apron and he leg drops and hits a leg drop to the back of Lee's head. Lynn tries to go for the cradle pile driver but can't get Lee up. Lee counters into a back body drop. Lee follows it up with a Somerset senton. Lee hits a belly-to-belly suplex and a side slam backbreaker. Lynn ducks under a clothesline and hits a springboard tornado DDT. So the finish, Lynn has Keith Lee set up for the cradle pile driver and hits it, but Lee is too close to the ropes and he gets his foot on the bottom rope, breaking the count. And Lynn waits for Lee to get up and goes for a super kick, but Lee grabs his foot. He spins him around and hits a power slam for a 2 count. Lee stalks Lynn and goes for the spirit bomb, but Lynn escapes, Irish whips Lee into the corner and hits a running knee. He then uses what strength he has left to hit Kryptonite Crunch. Lee kicks out at 2.5. Lynn then goes for the TKO, but Lee gets out of it and Lynn manages to roll him up and tries to lose the ropes for leverage, but Lee manages to kick out. Lee's like, "What the hell, man? This is supposed to be straight up." Lynn again goes for a tornado DDT, but Lee tosses him away and across the room. He then grabs Lee and hits a spirit bomb, but Lynn kicks out. Lee then stalks Lynn and he hits a Big Bang catastrophe, so the BBC, for the win and is the TCW X Division champion.
I never thought about that.
You never thought about that?
I never thought about that. The fact that it was called
That is the BBC.
Yeah, I never thought about that. I just always saw the Big Bang catastrophe. I never saw like the initials. I never thought about that till just now. I like the match. It seemed kind of AEW-ish with the keep hitting the move over and over again. It keeps getting kicked out. But I really didn't have too many problems with this match for real. So I'm going to give it a 4.75.
Okay.
It's not quite a 5, but
John?
I think it's a clean 4.
Okay.
That's what I'm feeling like. I feel like there wasn't that moment where I popped, but there was a lot of good shit.
Okay. Keith or Travis?
Yeah, good. I think 4 is good. I like that one of them tried to do like a little bit of heel, like a hint of heel shit. Like not really signifying like a full on like I'm bad now, but like I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
I like that. I also like that Keith Lee won. I feel like that's a good first champion and someone that you can build around. So yeah, good 4, solid 4. Quattro.
Travis? You're muted.
I thought this was pretty mid. I didn't think there was anything too crazily great about it. There was nothing flawed really, like no like egregious like failures here.
Okay.
I'll give you a 3.75. It was going to be a 3, but I felt like an asshole after listening to everybody else's comments. So I'm going to give you some pity points.
I'll take them. So suddenly we see Bruno and little Guido come from the crowd and surround the ring. Keith Lee tries to fight them off as they enter the ring, but he's overwhelmed. They beat him down with they have baseball bats as the crowd rains down with boos. We then see Enzo come out with his briefcase. Enzo tells them to get him up. They bring Keith Lee to a knee, and Enzo smashes him in the face with his briefcase. Enzo then signals to the referee that he's cashing in right now. The ref checks on Lee to see if he can even wrestle. Lee is like, I'm okay, I can go. The ref rings the bell, and Enzo goes right after Lee, who shoves Enzo away. But Lee's still clearly dazed. Enzo runs back at him and drop kicks his knee, sending Lee to one knee. Enzo hits a Shining Wizard, but only gets a 2 count. Enzo then lands a realist combination, but Lee is back to his feet. Enzo goes for the clothesline, but Lee counters into a Spirit Bomb. Enzo like barely kicks out at like 2.5 or like 2.9. Lee stalks him, but little Nunzio gets on the apron. The ref goes over and says to get down now, but this distracts the referee, and Enzo hits Keith Lee with a pair of brass knuckles that he had in his pants. Enzo then makes his way to the corner, and he gets up, and Enzo hits a DDG, which is a diving DDT, for the 1, 2, 3. The winner and the new X Division champion is the Don, Enzo Amore. El Codice enter the ring and they celebrate. Lee is getting up slowly when Enzo sees this and he nods his head. Bruno grabs him and holds him as Guido delivers baseball bat shots to the abdomen of Lee. The 3 men then leave the ring and celebrate as Lee is laid out.
This
Okay.
is gonna be pretty mid for me. I think the bat shots were unnecessary. Like he already lost. Like there's nothing to gain from it. There's no personal heat there to do that. I get that bad people just do bad things sometimes. It just felt unnecessary. 'Cause he already got the title. I do like that he cashed in, and the night of add some suspense to Feast or Fired. I'm gonna give this a 3.25.
Okay.
I didn't even realize you could cash in Feast or Fired like Money in the Bank.
Yeah, it's essentially Money in the Bank, but
So yeah, I was not expecting it like that. I do like that they came down and beat him down. Like he sent the gang down to beat him up. Did they beat up Jerry Lynn also?
Jerry Lynn had already left the ring.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I thought they were gonna beat everybody's ass. I like it. I had some good heel shit. First champion, beat him down, take it. I don't really care about the beating him up afterwards. I'm gonna go with nice solid 4 because that really caught me off guard. I didn't realize that was got me. Does that count as one of your 4 matches left?
Yes, that was one of them.
Okay.
All right, I'll go next. I'm gonna be different here. I loved it. I think I like the fact it's some real good heel shit to me to take the shine away from him damn near immediately. Just shut that whole thing down. It's supposed to be this big moment for him, and they shut it down. First champion, nope, fuck that. They came in there and beat him down. So I didn't really see any problems with it. Even with the beating him up afterwards, I still didn't see that as the problem. It's just kind of at that point, it's like damn, really, it's fuck him. At that point, that's how I felt at least. So
yeah, pretty much. Enzo's fuck you, don't get up.
Yeah. So it's just because heel shit is extra shit at the end of the day. So I gave it a solid 5. I gave it a 5.
Thank you.
You finally got the Kenny 5.
I thought it was fine. I like El Codice a lot, actually. I'll give you a 4.5.
Okay.
It's probably my favorite match of the night so far.
Okay, so actually there's only one match and one segment left. So it cuts to the back and Joy Taylor is interviewing Bianca Belair. Bianca, you gave it your all tonight in the Queen of the Mountain match, but you came up just short. Bianca says, "Yeah, I thought I had it a few times, but I guess tonight just wasn't my night." So congratulations to Casey, but the EST of TCW will be coming for that title. Bianca smiles, and just as Joy is about to thank her for her time, out of nowhere, Tessa Blanchard smacks Bianca from behind with a chair, and then just keeps wailing out on her with the chair until the chair is bent. We then hear Tessa say, "You cost me the title, Bianca. That was my title, stupid black bitch." Security comes over and Blanchard walks away.
Oh my god!
for the audacity. Five for the audacity.
I hate it. I hate that I give you a 5, but I'll give you a 5.
So wait,
I knew,
everybody
I was waiting for it. I was like, is he gonna? What's she gonna say? Like,
I didn't know if it was going to be that word or another one, but
Simone,
I wasn't gonna go that far.
I was
you're
wondering. I
gonna
was
get
like,
audacity coins, but those are the only coins you're gonna get. Like you got
you're a hater.
No, I'm not a hater. I've loved
No.
him. I've given the most consistent love tonight.
he's
But-
gonna say he hates it, and then say the N word on his show later on.
What did you give it, John?
I'm gonna give this a $1. Like those extra
Okay.
50 cents
A
in your
young buck?
audacity
All
coins.
right, I'll take it. I'll take them.
Those are the only coins you're getting.
I'll take whatever change I can get. Courtney,
Like-
we're toxic over here.
So wait, Travis, you really give it a 5?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're getting audacity coins from me.
I mean, we asked for the toxicity, and
Y'all did.
there it is.
Now,
There
I'm
it
mad
is.
that- I'm mad the N word got. Well, not the N word. My fault. Black bitch got 5s from y'all.
I didn't feel good about it.
I hate the show.
Which one?
No, I do still like yours. I'm gonna give you. Damn, that's crazy. I don't even know how to feel about this. Like it's like
I know.
that's how I feel
You
right
feel
now.
me?
Like
It's
I don't want to say like because it's not a 5 for me, but it's not like a 0.5 for me either. It's really the audacity. It's like damn, like it's just like,
I couldn't believe it.
yeah. I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna go with a 3.75. It's one of those things where I don't know how to feel about this. Like because before you were like she didn't say she was racist, she was just a fan.
did.
Now she's like she's a black bitch. I'm like all right.
I
So,
can't
yeah.
believe you got away with that.
He did. He did. That's
But I can't.
So David Arquette, this is the last match. So David Arquette announces the participants for the TCW World Championship, who were some of them are going to receive automatic bids. So we have the Evolve Champion Christian Cage, the NSW World Champion Samoa Joe. Those titles will be absorbed into the TCW World Title.
They did the fusion dance.
But it will not be a simple one-on-one match. We need to know who the best of the best here in TCW is, so it will be a King of the Mountain match to determine the first ever TCW World Champion. So get your calculators out. The other 3 spots will be determined in a series of qualifying matches. Carlito beats Brock Lesnar. He survives 2 F5s, and then he just beats Brock with a backstabber for the win. Scott Steiner beats Goldberg with a Steiner screwdriver. Y2J beats the Great Khali with a Walls of Jericho. It's advertised that there will be a contract signing between all 5 competitors on the Go Home show, because that's like over the course of the weeks. Samoa Joe, so on the Go Home show, there's a contract signing. Samoa Joe comes out and he says, I don't know why these other 3 are out here pointing to Carlito, Scott, and Y2J. This match should be between me and Christian Cage, but I guess David decided to treat you all like a Make-A-Wish kid. But whether it's 1 or it's 4, it doesn't matter because I will become the first TCW World Champion, and there's nothing any of you can do to stop me. Steiner says that usually this is where I call you a fat ass or a fat piece of shit, but not this time, Joe. This time I'm just going to call you a loser because that's what you and the rest of these punks are going to be after I climb the ladder and win the title for Team Punk. Jericho says, gentlemen, you were arguing like children, which to this audience, this Detroit audience, is normal since they have an average IQ of 75. So let me dumb down what I'm going to say so that these sycophants can understand what I am saying. I am the best in the world at what I do. And that means Chris Jericho will be your first TCW World Champion. Christian Cage then says, Chris, do us all a favor and shut the hell up. Joe is right about one thing, though. Me and him are the only world champions in this match. But I understand that when that bell rings, that doesn't matter. I've been in this sort of match before, back in my Impact days, and it's not easy. Carlito laughs and says, you as world champion, not cool. Carlito as the TCW world champion, now that's cool. And then bites into an apple. And he's the last to sign the contract and throws it on the table. And then he takes another bite of the apple and he spits it in Scott Steiner's face. Steiner punches Carlito and it just causes a brawl. The show closes with Samoa Joe standing tall and holding both the Evolve and NSW World Championships. So to the match itself, Scott Steiner comes out first wearing black pants with the red Team Punk logo and the chainmail over his head. Next out is Carlito wearing the purple shorts. Jericho comes out wearing black and yellow trunks. Black and silver trunks. Christian Cage is out next wearing black pants with white zigzags. And out last is Samoa Joe wearing the red trunks. So like red and black trunks. Ricardo announces all the men. And the ref rings the bell. It starts off like kind of measured, not as chaotic as the women's did, with everyone like trying to take their spots and like circling. And then Carlito throws a right hand on Christian and like all chaos breaks out. So to the spots, Y2J hits a spinning heel kick on Samoa Joe. Jericho hits a backhand chops on Carlito, then Steiner, then Carlito all in a row. Then Christian Cage all in a row. Jericho goes for a diving crossbody, but Joe just walks away so that he misses. Samoa Joe hits a series of stiff punches on Scott, then hits a power bomb. Scott kicks out, but Joe transitions into a crossface hold. Scott is able to power out. Scott avoids the clothesline, hits a belly-to-belly suplex on Samoa Joe. Scott hits a military press drop on Jericho. Carlito hits a snap swinging neckbreaker on Christian, followed by a springboard double jump moonsault. Carlito goes for a running clothesline in the corner on Samoa Joe, but Joe counters with a sit-down Uranagi, followed by a running senton. Christian Cage hits a diving European uppercut on Steiner, followed by an implant DDT. Jericho slides the ladder into the ring, but Joe drop kicks it, hitting Jericho in the face with the ladder. Christian puts the ladder on his head and he does like the spinning thing, and it knocks down Joe and Carlito. Jericho is on the top rope. When Steiner comes in, it hits a Steiner flatliner from the top rope and gets a pinfall win. So Steiner is eligible to win. Jericho goes into the penalty box. Cage runs at Samoa Joe, but gets hit with a scoop slam power slam. Samoa Joe Irish whips Cage into the turnbuckle and hits a muscle buster on Cage, followed by a pin. Samoa Joe is now eligible to win. Cage is put into the cage. Steiner hits a Steiner screwdriver on Carlito. Jericho hits a Judas effect on Scott, followed by a code breaker for a pin. Jericho is now eligible. Jericho is climbing towards the title, but Christian cuts him off. Christian isn't eligible yet, but needs to prevent Jericho from grabbing the title. Christian gets the upper hand, hits an unprettier from the ladder. Christian is crawling for the pin, but Carlito comes in and throws Christian to the outside and steals the pin on Jericho. And so now Carlito is eligible. Carlito goes to grab the title, but Samoa Joe grabs him and power bombs him to the floor. Joe is climbing the ladder. Christian drop kicks the ladder, sending Joe flying to the ground. There's a bridge set up on the outside, like between the apron and the the announce table. Steiner tries to hit a exploder suplex onto the ladder on Jericho, but Jericho manages to land on his feet, and then he jumps in. It hits like a hurricane. Jones back in. It hits a hurricane Rana. Jericho hits a lion salt and goes for the pin. Joe kicks out, but immediately he's able to like switch it into a coquina clutch. Jericho flips himself over so that he's able to like get pinned Jericho or Joe into a pinning predicament, and he gets a pin 1, 2, 3. Joe is forced to go into the penalty box. Jericho is climbing the ladder when Steiner runs up the ladder and hits a Frankensteiner off of it. So yeah, Steiner runs up the ladder and hits a Frankensteiner. Later on, Carlito smashes Steiner with his own steel pipe and then drags him into the penalty box and locks the door. And he puts the key in his tights to like try and get Steiner like eliminated, like can't be in the match, like to keep him in the like stuck in there. Jericho sees this and he helps Carlito push the cage over. So like not only is like he have the key, but like the cage is on its side. So like where the door, like to get it open, you'd have to like get it back upright. So Christian and Joe, to the finish, Christian and Joe are only ones left in the ring. They're trading punches and then Gut kicks Joe and goes for the Judas effect, or Jericho Gut kicks Joe and goes for the Judas effect. Joe avoids it and locks in a coquina clutch. Y2J is fading and appears to have passed out. Joe lets go and kicks his body out of the ring. Joe quickly sets up the ladder and is the only one in the ring. As he's climbing, Cage jumps off, like does a springboards onto the ladder, surprising Joe. The two trade strikes back and forth. Christian looks to have the advantage and tries to superplex Joe, but Joe blocks it and he turns it into a muscle buster off the top of the ladder. Steiner is stuck in the cage and is trying to get out but can't, like, and referees are like frantically trying to help him get out, like get it back upright so he can get out. Carlito, who was on the outside sitting like against the barricade, gets up, slides in right before the referees manage to get Steiner out because like everybody else is laid out. Carlito climbs up the ladder and grabs the TCW World Championship. So Carlito is your TCW World Champion. As he's celebrating, Steiner gets in the ring and into his face, and he extends his hand for a handshake. Carlito shakes his hand as Scott says congrats. As he turns to leave the ring, Carlito immediately hits him with a backstabber, smirks, and then has one of the workers hand him an apple. He then spits the apple in Steiner's face. Jordan and Petey come out to help, but they get attacked from behind while they're coming up up the ramp by Mil Mertez and Rebby Sky. Little Pump comes out with a chair and he swings that at Mil, who just eats the shot, grabs him, and then throws him off the stage. Rebby and Muertes throw Jordan and Petey into the ring, and Mil hits a double choke slam on those two, and they leave Team Pump laid out. The show closes with Carlito holding the title with Mil and Rebby behind him.
That ending was random as hell.
That was a little random.
Like, I liked Carlito winning, but I didn't like the new faction forming and the whole, like... I didn't like Scott Steiner being that much of a babyface. Even when he's a babyface, he's not that much of one. He don't shake hands in defeat. I like King of the Mountain matches. I like some of the spots. I like who won. I hated everything after.
Also, one thing, everyone, Rebby, Muertes, and Carlito are all Puerto Rican.
I figured that was why they were connected.
Oh.
But you already did that with Italians. And you
more! Tessa Blanchard gonna start the Aryan Sisterhood! Let's go!
and the Tessa segment. I don't like this this playground you're doing, Timon. I don't like what you said up here.
TCW is literally prison.
Yeah, it is.
TCW is segregated.
It's the Oakland Raiders of fucking wrestling. I can't. I don't like where this is going. I like parts, but I can't vibe with it too much. I'm gonna go with a 2.75.
Oof.
Keith, Kenny, Travi.
I was gonna say I liked where the pay-per-view was headed. Like I liked the second half of the pay-per-view, but I didn't like this though. Like I take it back. I liked the match, even though it's a confusing match. I did like the spots you had in it.
Yeah,
I
that was
did
all
like
really good.
Carlito. I did like Carlito winning as well. That was different, and I always felt like he should have been world champion as
Dub.
well. But yeah, it was like as soon as he won, it was just like it went downhill for me. It was like I saw what you were trying to do, but I didn't really like it. I'm trying to think of the appropriate number for this because it wasn't like egregious. Like, hey, I'm gonna give him a 1 or 0.5. I just think
But it
gonna
wasn't
go
a
with-
5.
I'm gonna go with a 3.5. I'm with 3.5.
Okay, I'll take it.
So I liked it all for the most part. I think the ending could have been a little polished, like if you'd have had Team Pump come out and help like flip the cage and just be out there, and then they get attacked.
Yeah,
It
I guess I
kinda
could have
would
had
make-
them trying to use their strength to reflip the cage.
Yeah. You could almost turn Team Pump into like almost like not quite as good as the Rude Ones, but like a little, I don't know, show a little vulnerability as far as being like, I don't know, trying to flip them over together, like, power together, like, you know what I mean?
What
I
is
don't like the
that?
keep
Pump,
telling us
pump,
where it's rated.
pump.
Standing up.
But I feel like the ending because it could have just come out of, like, kind of came out of nowhere. I don't dislike it, but it didn't feel like it wasn't great.
Okay.
I'll go with a 3.75 as well.
Okay.
$3.75.
Damn, I came out a hater. I didn't even mean to be.
Well, you are, so
Sometimes it be like that, man.
Sometimes
like
it's like that.
yeah.
So just give it in.
I'm gonna give you a 5.
What?
Hey. Closing the show with a Travi 5.
You're the weirdest motherfucker. What you pop for is these last couple.
It's the audacity for me.
Man, I gotta do like an execution on my show or something. That's an easy Travis 5.
No,
I don't know. I don't think so.
Jerry Funk
Hey.
got like damn near a 0.5.
Yeah. So
So
yeah.
how much audacity is the right amount, Travis?
Not quite. This Carlito audacity is good. Death Demon is too far. That's too much
Too far.
seasoning. Too
Yeah,
much
yeah.
seasoning.
Too much audacity.
Yep.
Too much audacity.
As long as your back ain't stinking after the match, you get that 5 from Travis.
Yeah, we don't want that stinky back.
But yeah,
Who wants Stinky back?
that was
But Terry Funk
Judgment.
both times.
That was Judgment Day.
It got judged all right.
Which
Yeah,
is
this was
two-face
like
ass,
crazy.
two-face ass arena setting.
He kept leaning
So-
more toward that devil side.
Yeah,
We
he
saw
did.
the arena slowly turn like red and black instead of white like it was before.
that would be a cool effect. So yeah, that was the pay-per-view. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna do plugs. So we'll start with Travi.
Follow me on all social media at I am Travi T. That's at IAMTRAVVYT on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram.
Bad guy.
Bad guy spoken on all social media. Check out my podcast on the Bad Guy Spoken podcast on YouTube's. And yeah, that's about it.
John, I'm assuming you're just gonna make a fart noise. I be TikToking, so you can follow me on both. At DumbMoneyT13, so DAMONEYT, the number 1, the number 3, so DumbMoneyT13. And the Keith, you can rap, but you can do the final stuff.
You can follow me at Late Night Keith on TikTok and or Twitter. You can follow Book It at BookItT13 on Twitter, or go to our Facebook page, T13 Media on Facebook, where you can keep up to date on all of our shows. Book It, Debatable, Bad Guy, all of them. We're all there. Or you can head on over to t13media.com and find everything T13 Media, including our store where you can get any kind of merch that you could possibly imagine. We have everything that you can slap a logo on and then some. Head on over there, check it out. While you're on the internet, check out organiclovin.com. Use promo code T1THREE, like the sound the bed makes, for 10% off of your next order. Rep Sports, REPPSPORTS.com to get promo code T1THREE for 15% off of your next order of better, tastier energy. They also have like dietary supplements, things like that. I've been exploring some of our sponsors' websites, and they've got a lot more than what we think. So if you just go on there, you're bound to find something that you need within your daily routine.
Okay. So that's been this episode of Book It. Bye.